The service of Blindster.com. Blindster.com sells custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Mike Gallagher doesn't think now is the time.
I have to plead guilty to avoiding the drama around Speaker Johnson, and let me tell you why. Trying to replace him before the election would be a disaster. It would be political suicide for the Republican Party. Well, it got a lot of momentum. The last thing we need to do is have another fiasco of replacing Mike Johnson before the election.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Baseball and softball season will be starting soon at fields everywhere. I'm not talking about those overpriced professional palaces with the prima donnas. I'm talking about the neighborhood where the kids, Little League fields, their family, their fathers, their coaches will all be out in the sun. There's a company in Bridgeview, PYT Sports, that's working with volunteer coaches, Little League managers, and dads. Good, hardworking guys that want to help their kids and friends have a good time this summer instead of getting into trouble on the streets. PYT Sports has all the stuff you'll need to furnish dugouts and more. 2-tiered benches, helmet racks, bat racks, and individual player storage. Plus, windscreens and wall pads. Even field tarps to protect from rain so you're ready for game time. Check out the popular Field General, Commander, and Trooper helmet and bat combos to make your dugout look like the pros. Go to pytsports.net. That's pytsports.net. And get ready for a great baseball season. Play ball!
Our communities deserve to have their tax dollars spent efficiently. All over Chicagoland, there is an increased need for vital projects like wetland improvements, enhancing water quality, or stormwater mitigation to protect homes against devastating floods. Too often, public officials find themselves at the mercy of outside advisors when planning, budgeting, and building these projects. And let's face it, they rarely meet deadlines or budgets, leaving our communities vulnerable. There's a better way forward. Control Point Engineering. At Control Point Engineering, we're more than just civil engineers. We're champions of quality and efficiency with over 40 years of hands-on experience. Teaming up with Earthworks Land Development, we're breaking down barriers and streamlining processes. Say goodbye to disjointed partnerships and hello to seamless collaboration. From conceptualization to construction, Control Point Engineering delivers everything you need in one unified package, saving you time and money. Visit ControlPointLLC.com today to learn about our successful projects all across Chicagoland. Again, that's ControlPointLLC.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's still quiet on the roads, the Jane Addams I-90 westbound. You've got road work there at the off-ramp to Genoa. It's closed till 6 o'clock. On the Bishop Ford, road work overnight, the on-ramp to I-57F just opening up. It's opening up in the next few moments. Eden's inbound, 17 minutes from Lake Hook to the junction. On the Kennedy in, it's 24 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound Kennedy, 22 to the airport. Eisenhower in at 30 minutes. Outbound Ike westbound on 290. A crash on that exit ramp to the Tri-State 294. Traffic is brought to you by Blue Star Security. Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you and your business. Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at BlueStarSecurityLLC.com. That's BlueStarSecurityLLC.com. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle. Breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Admit it, this is the worst time of year to be suffering with joint pain. You can't enjoy outdoors like you used to. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and if you're tired of achy joints, contact my friends at QC Kinetics before you agree to surgery, steroids, or medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, like Robert. Robert's a retired Marine and business owner. Robert had debilitating shoulder pain and couldn't take time away from work to have surgery. So he heard about QC Kinetics and how elite athletes were using these treatments for joint pain. Now Robert feels much better thanks to his treatments at QC Kinetics. And you know what? I'd love to talk about your success story next. So don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today. The consultation's free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. Again, 312-809-5955.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Listen this Sunday for inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century with IoT Smart Connected Scanning. It's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Don, can you read this email for me?
Of course. Jeez, I wish they could do something for your eyesight.
Me too. But you heard what they said. There's nothing we can do.
When vision loss can't be corrected with glasses or surgery, and hope seems lost, turn to Spectrios Institute for Low Vision. Spectrios doctors specialize in the treatment of vision loss related to eye diseases, such as macular degeneration, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy. There is hope, supported by science with personalized rehabilitation plans, occupational therapies, and access technology at Spectrios. Talk to a patient service manager. They'll walk you through the program. Spectrios takes BCBS and Medicare insurance. They also have grants for qualifying patients and offer a Seeing is Believing children's outreach program. Go to Spectrios.org, located in Wheaton in a building that says it all, the House of Hope. That's SPECTRIOS.org. Spectrios Institute, the head, heart, and eyes approach to better vision. Remember to keep Spectrios Institute, a 501c, in your estate or legacy planning.
Protecting and growing your retirement assets can be complicated. From asset and legacy protection to retirement income and extended care, you need a plan. Mark Kohler, host of Retirement and Income Radio, heard Sundays at 11 a.m., helps retirees in or near retirement protect their accounts from market volatility. Mark can help you create lifetime guaranteed inflation-hedged income. Call Mark today at 844-619-SAFE. That's 844-619-7233. And listen this Sunday at 11 a.m. to Retirement and Income Radio.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. What we are witnessing from New York State's Justice Juan Merchan is absolutely shocking. An attempt to secure, by any means necessary, the conviction of former President Donald Trump. Merchan is orchestrating a conviction of Trump for a crime that is not even charged in the indictment. Only mind readers can discern the real motives behind Justice Merchan's incomprehensible abuses of his power. Unless one or more brave souls on the jury sees through this fraud of his Soviet-style show trial and hangs the jury, many convictions are coming Trump's way, and the Merchan-Alvin Bragg combo is going down in American legal history along with the names of every other disreputable judge and prosecutor you can find in American history. It is very unlikely that such a juror will emerge given the rulings the judge has made. We will not know this side of heaven what Merchan and Bragg thought they were doing. But what they have already done is enough to put them down in the column of those who put politics ahead of law to the detriment of the republic.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Brandon Tatum weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Charlie Kirk at 7. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
Welcome to a getaway like no other. The Maplewood Hotel in the heart of Saugatuck, Michigan. Built in the 1860s during Michigan's lumberman's era, our boutique bed and breakfast offers a warmth and charm that are amplified by its rich history. Our cozy rooms are designed for comfort, ensuring a restful night's sleep after a day of exploring all that Saugatuck has to offer. Discover the vibrant art scene, stroll through local shops, and indulge in delicious local cuisine, all just steps away from the Maplewood Hotel. Whether you're planning a romantic weekend or organizing a business retreat, we have the perfect rooms for you. We're conveniently located just over 2 hours from Chicago. Stay 3 or more nights and get a discount of 15% off rack room rates in 2024 when you use the code word Chicago Radio. Must book directly with hotel to receive the discount. Visit maplewoodhotel.com today before our summer bookings sell out. Again, that's maplewoodhotel.com.
In the fast-paced rhythm of life, where demands can be relentless and time is precious, prioritizing your well-being can be hard. Not to worry. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements are convenient and easy to add to any schedule. Paired with eating more fresh produce, regular exercise, and a positive mindset, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements can help you keep your rhythm. Whether it be excelling in your day-to-day or just living in the moment, start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It was a stormy day in court for the former president yesterday.
Heyo.
Here was his take on yesterday's proceedings before we get to the stormy piece of it. And take notice of what he did here to try to creatively end run the unconstitutional gag order he's under. I'm not saying these things. CNN is saying these things. NBC is saying these things. Fox is saying these things. I'm just repeating them.
Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said, we heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense. There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense. Is that a correct statement, Mr. Attorney? And everyone's saying, oh, gee, that's the fraud. That's what they're trying to get us on. The fact that we call a legal expense. They marked it down in the books. The check was signed. And the other thing, this was approved by all agencies. Everybody saw this. There was nothing being hidden at all. That's what they're all writing now. There's been nothing hidden. And it went through agencies, and I guess it went through the IRS also. It went through IRS. It went through the FEC. It went through everything. Also, NBC Today showed the challenges that there is no smoking gun, no email or tape to prove the president's intent. They don't have a way to prove that. That's NBC Today show. And then Fox News, Katie Cherkasky, said that the gag order is unconstitutional, which of course it is. The gag order is unconstitutional. So with all that's going on, they have no case.
And so the usual, but I thought that was a nice little sleight of hand in terms of just reviewing what those in the media are saying about this case and the proceedings.
Yeah, and he's done that before where he brings a stack of newspaper, articles that were printed and just reads the headline and stuff. But yesterday was such a disgrace. I mean, and I texted you this, I really hope Melania had a spa day yesterday where she didn't have to listen to this because, remember, people seem to forget, she's a porn star. She's an extortionist. She owes Trump money for defamation suits and things to the tune of $234,000. So if he's in jail, he doesn't have to pay her the money. She doesn't have to pay him the money, is what I meant to say. But it's
that's not true. She owes him court costs for a defamation suit she filed and lost, so she still owes him that money. In addition, I mean, this case, I think most people have probably made their judgment on this case, or to the extent that they're paying attention, or you're not paying attention, and then you're going to make a snap judgment upon the verdict, which is my concern. That people pay no attention. They hear it's a bull jive case, but then all of a sudden he gets convicted, and now he's a convicted felon, and we can't have a convicted felon in the White House. I've made this case many times. Right. We'll see how it plays out. But, I mean, in terms of the merits of the case, it's beyond laughable. It's living down to expectations when your star witness is a serial perjurer and your other star witness is also a serial perjurer. I mean, Stormy Daniels testified yesterday, I didn't want to sign the letter denying the existence of the affair in 2018. Well, you did it anyway.
Right.
And she had to concede that she hates Trump. She had to concede that she's been, doing very well over the last several years, essentially living off this story. She's, of course, in terms of, she's doing well telling her story, but this is the story that she's telling. It's the only story she's got of any particular interest or marketability because of the nature of the country's divisions over Trump. So the bottom line is this. I mean, what is the prosecution trying to do here? They're trying to get a jury to convict Trump for having an affair and lying about it, which is not a crime, but that's what this is. That's the only case they have.
Right. Her testimony yesterday was totally irrelevant to providing the underlying charges that he's facing. It had nothing to do with this. Was like so much salacious detail to conflate dirty with illegal. mean, one excerpt when she was being questioned. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty, but they talked about lotion and the pajamas he liked to wear. She described a remarkably intense encounter, Dan, where she said the room was spinning in slow motion and blood left her hands and feet. She said that Trump did not act particularly threatening, but blocked her access to the door to the bedroom. Then she says she blacked out. Okay, in her interview in 2011, she never mentioned that she blacked out. She acted like she was a victim. She's a porn star who wanted this.
Oh.
Well, she did. She wasn't bound and gagged and taken to his room. She voluntarily went there. And I don't even know if they had sex. I mean, they said he didn't use a condom. It was so
I'm so glad you don't want to get into all the salacious details that you've just repeated. There's a summary of all the salacious details that came out in court yesterday.
During cross-examination, the defense was brutal, and I absolutely loved it. They brought up her social media post where she said, quote, I'll dance through the streets when he's arrested and thrown in jail. I mean, it was just so obvious what this is about. This is just a smear campaign. And the judge the attorney, Susan Hoffinger, she's a Biden donor. She gave $500 to Biden for his 2020 campaign. She gave $900 to Act Blue, which is a Democratic group. I mean, this thing was so disgusting, and this was 18 years ago.
Okay, that sort of past post. Alvin Bragg brought the case.
Right. Well, so the person that was questioning, she's part of the prosecution. She's part of that team.
Yeah, I understand. Who do you think it was going to be? Members of the Federalist Society?
No.
I mean, the whole thing is a Democrat socialist show trial, right? So, I mean, to some extent, the details are relevant, but if you're paying attention to the details, the conclusion, the evidence is so overwhelming as to what this is that there's not that much to talk about, which is why I don't think there's a lot of Trump supporters or even those are open-minded paying much attention to this.
She said she knew what medication.
If you've paid attention to this, you know not to pay attention to this. Ironically, if you haven't paid attention to it, which again, it's hard to essentially get a handle on what percentage of the electorate that is, then that's a little bit more concerning to me. I know that's maybe a bit counterintuitive, but that's where I think things are at.
And they brought up this interview that she did with 60 Minutes in 2011. Here's just an excerpt of it.
A guy walked up on me and said to me, "Leave Trump alone." And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, "A beautiful little girl. It'd be a shame if something happened to her mom."
Did she call the police? No. Did she tell her that boyfriend? No. Come on, all the moms out there and grandparents, somebody makes a threat like that against your child, you call police. I think she's so full of BS. Everything she says that comes out of her mouth is a lie.
Well, again, I don't know what the truth of these allegations is, but I do know that based on her previous behavior, actions that she's taken, she doesn't present a very credible witness.
She
and
looked like a slob, too, in court. Dress up.
She had
a hoodie on.
And that's what the prosecution needs to focus. I mean, that's what the defense needs to focus on, sort of get the jury's attention back. Not, I mean, to some extent in cross, but more so in close. Let's remember what this case is about here, what the allegation is here. And, has the state made a compelling case specific to the allegation? It's not about Stormy Daniels' dislike of Trump. It's not about these uncorroborated threats that she said she'd experienced. All of this is just white noise where they're trying to make this a personality contest, that this is, you like Stormy Daniels or you feel a sympathy for Stormy Daniels and Trump is the big bad wolf. That's what this is. But that's not the rule of law, and that's not your charge as members of the jury. This is what the case is alleging, and this is what they had to prove. And did they prove it? Does any of this make any sense to you? And hopefully, if you can reason with or present a reasonable case to the jury, there's one person capable of critical thinking on that, at least one on that jury, to say, Yeah, and I'm not going along with this show trial.
But she was so rehearsed, too. I mean, she said she's not threatened or drugged, Dan, but claims there was an imbalance of power.
Well, that's standard fodder in these sorts of allegations. You know, I'm just a lowly porn star, and he's a billionaire real estate developer and a presidential candidate, and so on and so forth. And it's very intimidating. And
she said he's kind of rude, and he wanted her to spank her with a magazine. I'm like, oh, just stop.
I know you hate these salacious details. I know. Yeah, you're just so disgusted about these salacious details, you can't stop repeating them.
Almost 20 years ago this happened. Okay.
But the point here is to not fall into the trap of trying to vilify Stormy Daniels because she's trying to vilify, and the prosecution is trying to vilify Trump. If you want to make it a vilification game, then Trump is going to lose. You want to get beyond the vilification game and get it back to the rule of law matter. And I think the high ground here is Trump's best play, which you'll note. I mean, I know there are gag order restrictions, but that hasn't necessarily impeded him to this point. You'll note that he did not take out after Stormy Daniels after the court concluded yesterday. The case concluded.
Didn't say a word.
The day in court, and I'm sure that was on advice of counsel, and it's good advice. So more Stormy today, and tomorrow, Amy will be sure to be outraged about all the salacious details that she will dutifully report.
She had on a hoodie. I mean, at least dress up. Her hair was all disheveled, and she kind of looked like Kathleen Blasey Ford. The glasses on, and oh my God.
It's the
court of law. Dress up. Take
the
a
porn
shower.
star lifestyle is a rough lifestyle, particularly when you start to get into your late 40s. I understand.
Tell me all about it, Dan. And I want salacious details.
Yeah. Mark, Southside.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I was just thinking about what you said about the one juror that, has common sense with this, but I don't think the prosecution would mind that. Maybe you can help me out. What is the time frame for a retrial? Because they would, they definitely would retry him, and they would love it to keep him off the campaign trail, or would that retrial be after the election?
That's a good question. Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, boy, I don't know. I don't know if you would get political support for a retrial because if there's a mistrial because of a hung jury, pun intended. Given the nature of the testimony. So, because remember, this is not a legal calculation; it's a political one. So is there a political advantage, or is that really going to have a boomerang effect on the Democrats if the jury fails to convict and then Bragg wants to hurry up and retry Trump? So number one, I think that there's a political calculation that will have to be made, and number two, this thing goes to verdict, goes to the jury a couple weeks. Let's say you get a verdict after a few days, maybe. I mean, you're into June, effectively. You got 5 months. I think it'd be very difficult to turn another trial on these charges in Manhattan around by November. I think it'd be very difficult. And, of course, we know the classified documents case has been pushed off indefinitely by Eileen Cannon.
Ooh, a big win for Trump. Good.
So it's sort of coming apart. What's coming into focus is exactly what we've been telling you for months now, which is it looks like the only trial that's going to take place that will get to verdict before the election is the one we're talking about in Manhattan, which is good for Trump. It would have been even better had this case not gotten to trial before November, but the other three are unlikely to. It definitely helps. All right, coming up at 5:38. We'll take judicial notice, if you will, that NBC News has learned of a border problem.
What?
Apparently there's an influx of people from around the world coming through our southern border. I had no idea. NBC News has the exclusive at 5:38.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 57 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. President Joe Biden will be in Illinois today. The president is stopping in Chicago for a fundraiser. Biden will be visiting the city after making a stop in Racine County, Wisconsin. State and local officials are celebrating the grand opening of the Ferrero Chocolate Factory in Bloomington, Illinois. The 70,000 square foot expansion to Ferrero's manufacturing campus in Bloomington will produce chocolate used in iconic products like Kinder, Ferrero Rocher, Butterfinger, and Crunch. The $75 million facility is the company's first chocolate processing plant in North America and third globally. The Shy Food Truck Fest is coming to Chicago for its 9th year. The downtown food event begins May 17th at Daly Plaza. It will continue every Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. through October 4th. The food truck lineup will be announced each week on the Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection's social media pages. News is a service of Valdecast Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high quality and professional level window replacement service, contact Valdecast Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor. Visit Valdecast.com. A check of the roads is coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka sees more frivolous spending.
Any idea how much the Democrats spent on the January 6th committee? Eric, do you remember how long was the January 6th committee? Like a couple of months, maybe?
Give or take, yeah.
Okay. They spent $16 million of our money. $16 million.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Baseball and softball season will be starting soon at fields everywhere. I'm not talking about those overpriced professional palaces with the prima donnas. I'm talking about the neighborhood where the kids, little league fields, their family, their fathers, their coaches will all be out in the sun. There's a company in Bridgeview, PYT Sports, that's working with volunteer coaches, little league managers, and dads. Good, hardworking guys that want to help their kids and friends have a good time this summer instead of getting into trouble on the streets. PYT Sports has all the stuff you'll need to furnish dugouts and more. 2-tiered benches, helmet racks, bat racks, and individual player storage. Plus, windscreens and wall pads. Even field tarps to protect from rain so you're ready for game time. Check out the popular Field General, Commander, and Trooper helmet and bat combos to make your dugout look like the pros. Go to pytsports.net. That's pytsports.net. And get ready for a great baseball season. Play ball!
It's your life, your legacy. Shouldn't it be your choice? For nearly 2 centuries, Catholic Cemetery Chicago has been a haven for families, offering sacred spaces to honor these legacies. Take an active role by pre-planning your final arrangements. Alleviate your loved ones a future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of no interest payments and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
Once again, Pure Talk, my sponsor and my wireless company, they're investing in their customers out of their own pocket without charging an extra penny. And I'm really happy to announce that Pure Talk is now providing international roaming to over 50 countries. That's right. As you plan your summer travel, make sure that your wireless provider has you covered at home and abroad. Pure Talk already puts you on America's most dependable 5G network, and now they're giving you coverage in over 50 countries as well. You get unlimited talk and text and plenty of 5G data for just $20 a month. That's less than half the price of the big carriers, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, for the exact same service. Now bring your phone or get great savings on the latest iPhones and Androids. Dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch simple and easy. Again, pound 250, keyword save now. Do it now. You save an additional 50% off your first month. Make the switch to Pure Talk so you can afford to travel this summer.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights into current events in a way that I believe you will really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code EARN.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The Eden's running 16 minutes either direction between Lake Hook and Montrose. The outbound Eden's 18. On the Kennedy, inbound 23 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound side of the Kennedy at 25 to the airport. Eisenhower, that's running 30 minutes either direction between 390 and Congress. On the westbound side of 290, got an accident. It's on the shoulder at the ramp to the Tri-State 294. Stevenson Inn at 23 minutes from 355 to DeSable Lakeshore Drive. And the Dan Ryan, inbound looking good. 19 minutes, 95th into downtown. Traffic is brought to you by Turnkey.pro. Turnkey's real-time threat hunting defends you, your employees, and your customers from vulnerable cyber attacks. Shield your company's infrastructure from malware, phishing scams, and other threats. Turnkey has solutions to protect your business. Visit Turnkey.pro. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle, breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, as you mentioned before the news, NBC News has this breaking story. I hadn't heard anything about it, but I watch NBC News, so I don't know anything that's going on until NBC or ABC or CBS reports it. But take a listen. You're going to want to hear about this.
Central America, South America, Africa, Eastern Europe, China, India.
The nature of migration to the U.S. border is changing. Before the pandemic, nearly 9 out of 10 migrants came from the 4 countries closest to the southern border. Now, for the first time ever, the majority come from elsewhere, from more distant countries in the Americas, or from as far away as Africa and Asia. We have the world at our doorstep, in spite of our efforts to shut the door.
CBP or the Mexican authorities come, plug up the hole with barbed wire, and then the smugglers just come and snip it open again. It's happened over and over, and it'll keep happening.
Near this gap, we see about 30 migrants, all from China, walking into the U.S. Last year, 37,000 Chinese citizens crossed the border, according to Customs and Border Protection, 10 times as many as the year before.
A lot of the migrants that we've tried to approach are extremely camera shy. They're really nervous. Several groups have literally run away from us when we approach them. That's what these guys are doing right now.
Have you heard about this?
Oh my, people are coming from China? From Africa? Wait, 187 plus countries? What? This just in?
You know, it's interesting that they feel compelled to send somebody to the border to file one of these pro forma pieces about what's happening that we've been hearing for, I don't know, a year and a half, like from other outlets that are actually interested in proactive reporting of news and events. It's interesting that they feel compelled to file that report. They're always the last to know. They're always the last to report bad news for their political allies. But it seems to me that says that NBC and these other legacy comm shops for the Democrat Socialist Party, they're now, and it's like, I hate to do it, but we have to maintain this facade of credibility, and we can't hide it anymore. We're going to have to fall in and admit at least some of what is basically true. It won't be as ugly as the reality of the situation, but we are going to have to sort of cover our backside here. That's the way I interpret that report. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, Turnkey.pro text line.
Sounds so serious, and the way he delivered the report. Like,
he's in theater. Yeah, he's an intrepid NBC reporter. I don't know who he is. Doesn't matter. There are interchangeable parts. And he is Yeah, I mean, he's on the case. There's no question. And you use your newsman voice, the Chuck Gowdy I-Team voice, and boy, it just gives it such gravitas.
Yes, it makes it so important. What I noticed too is just from living on the border, people are crossing into the country with Gucci bags, designer luggage, neck pillows, Beats, cell phones. That wasn't always. I mean, it used to be, the poorest of the poor were just trying to get over here with, the clothes on their back. Maybe they had shoes on, maybe they didn't. But it's just such a strange thing to see the wealthy people from foreign countries just being able to walk across our border and say, "Honey, I'm home."
Well, I don't know how many wealthy people there are, or where they may have gotten some of this merchandise. But just as a quick aside, because I know you're a practitioner, I got a real problem with people who wear neck pillows around. And I think part of my immigration reform package would be I would not allow anybody into the country who owns or particularly was wearing neck pillow.
They're wearing them.
I also think that we should be able to deport people in this country, even if they're citizens, who use neck pillows.
Why do you hate neck pillows so much?
It is
They're
so
so perfect. I mean, it's just if you want to take a nap anywhere, not just on a plane, but these Chinese people who I think have money to get the nice mules to take them to California illegally, they all had their neck pillows on. You didn't see that? And then you could sleep anywhere with your neck pillow. You could sleep, while you're waiting for Border Patrol to process you. You can just sit down and take a nap with your
Yeah, I know. I like you do in first class with your neck pillow when you fly.
I have a neck pillow. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. I've seen your neck pillow. I've seen you using it. I've seen it on a flight, and I pretended I didn't know who you were. It's embarrassing.
Oh my!
It's so low rent.
It's so practical. You're missing the practicality of it.
I mean, the neck pillow is to the neck what Crocs are to the feet.
I have Crocs too. I love my Crocs.
I mean, that does not surprise me.
I have furry Crocs
Your
too.
Crocs
and furry Crocs.
Crocs is a gateway to the neck pillow. Once you go down market, I mean, that's a slippery slope. That's what I'm saying.
What about jewelry for your Crocs? Because now all the kids at high school, they're putting jewelry. Have you seen that yet? Bedazzle your Crocs.
No. But I mean, this is my point. And then, I mean, you might as well get a tramp stamp on your lower back at that point. And I'm talking about the guys. Ed and Glen Ellen, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, shh. I hear they're also working on a story that's it's gonna be huge. They're talking about the national debt.
No, the what?
Increasing. The national debt is increasing.
Is that right?
Yeah. The story's going to be great.
Well, thanks for the call, Ed. I mean, I'm a little skeptical of that. So when that dude gets back from the border, I mean, if he files that report, then I'll believe it. George in Naperville.
Yeah, Dan, what does it matter what new and exotic countries people are coming from who are crossing the border? No one is illegal.
That's right. A human being cannot be illegal.
That's right.
Thanks for the call, George, and the reminder. Something else that's rather interesting, I thought, just off the beaten path a little bit, maybe.
What, tube socks?
Well, I mean, I'm
Jorts?
happy to hold court on proper fashion if people are interested, but I think I've made my point.
Okay.
Yeah. And for tube socks, since you brought it up, only for like tube socks that go up to like your knee.
Yeah.
There's two. Those are strictly for Adrian Dantley, or roller derby. Nothing else, basically. Yeah. All right. So this other story that maybe NBC will get to, or some other enterprising outlet, is from a Substack called Saga. A reporter named Luis Chaparro. I think he was with Vice, but anyway. There's a new cartel in Mexico operating.
Okay.
It's the country's top immigration authority. Meet the Mexican Institute of Immigration. This he starts in Ciudad Juarez.
Which is across the street from El Paso.
Right. Above both criminal organizations, he's talking about the Sinaloa cartel, the Juarez cartel. But above both of those cartels is a new cartel. The Mexican Institute of Immigration, the top immigration authority in Mexico, is now operating as its own criminal entity, extorting, kidnapping, and smuggling migrants all across the country. Although the two main cartels in Juarez are still fighting each other to get full control of the business of human smuggling, the Mexican Institute of Immigration is making bigger bucks by selling immigration permits to foreigners to be able to freely travel through Mexico, which is an advantage Mexican officials have over the criminal organizations. This reporter was in Mexico City, landed in Ciudad Juarez. I witnessed how this Mexican Immigration Authority has set up a checkpoint right before baggage claim, requesting all of the travelers for an official ID, but targeting only those brown travelers with a non-Mexican accent. The couple of agents in charge set them apart from the rest of the people, and when everybody is gone, they scare them by threatening to send them back to their countries on the next flight. This is where they are also making big bucks. And he goes on to, explain his travels and what else he's seen to corroborate this assertion that he's making. So, it probably, again, doesn't come as much of a surprise to us, it would to NBC News, that the Mexican government has a corruption problem, and that would not surprise. I mean, they have a corruption problem in law enforcement, and so it wouldn't be surprising that they'd also have a corruption problem with their immigration authority. But to characterize them as a cartel that operates above the drug cartels, that's really something. And also that corruption in terms of exploiting people coming into Mexico, of course, leads to more pressure at our border of people that are paying their way to get to Mexico as a way station to get to America. So I've just really, I hadn't seen this particular angle with respect to the story of corruption in the Mexican government reported. I was unaware of this, and certainly something to take notice of. Something else I just wanted to mention. That kid in North Carolina, Christian, the 16-year-old North Carolina student, was suspended from school for using the term illegal alien in English class.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention this, that the Liberty Justice Center has filed a lawsuit on his behalf.
Good. Against
the school district. And since I co-founded the Liberty Justice Center, I wanted to take notice of it. Actually started here in Illinois, one of the few good things we've been able to do in Illinois and sustain. Tony, Southside.
Good morning, Amy, or should I say Lammy, Lam, and Dan? Actually, Lammy, Lam, and Dan, I think, was one of Chuck from Delvin's high school bands.
Yeah.
Garage band, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, hey.
Susie and the Banshees cover band.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm watching MSNBC right now. There's an expose. Did you know that people from Illinois go to Indiana to buy fireworks and they blow them off on the 4th of July? I never knew this. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. You guys have a good one.
They also go there to buy cigarettes and gas and food.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Yeah, there's a lot of news you can use from the networks and their affiliates, isn't there? Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. What we are witnessing from New York State's Justice Juan Merchan is absolutely shocking. An attempt to secure, by any means necessary, the conviction of former President Donald Trump. Merchan is orchestrating a conviction of Trump for a crime that is not even charged in the indictment. Only mind readers can discern the real motives behind Justice Merchan's incomprehensible abuses of his power. Unless one or more brave souls on the jury sees through this fraud of his Soviet-style show trial and hangs the jury, many convictions are coming Trump's way, and the Merchan-Alvin Bragg combo is going down in American legal history along with the names of every other disreputable judge and prosecutor you can find in American history. It is very unlikely that such a juror will emerge given the rulings the judge has made. We will not know this side of heaven what Merchan and Bragg thought they were doing. But what they have already done is enough to put them down in the column of those who put politics ahead of law to the detriment of the republic.
All right, if you've been in business for a number of years, it's likely your company has grown in every department. You've added to your sales team increased your client base, and now have multiple locations. But there's one area that could stop your growth right in its tracks if it's not protected, and that's your network's data. As you've grown, you've likely evolved your basic network over time, putting your company at risk to cyber attacks, ones that can fold up your business in just hours. And it's not just your server that you need to worry about. It's the full infrastructure of your business. Think about your precious customer data, your employees' devices, smartphones, and all of your technology. You know, every day more than 30,000 websites are hacked, and 2/3 of companies globally have experienced at least one type of cyber attack. So don't be a statistic. Defend your business, your customers, your employees, and your future growth with Turnkey's real-time threat hunting protection. Turnkey has the solutions to protect your business, so start a conversation today. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, have you seen the Brady roast yet? We talked about it a bit yesterday. Have you gotten a chance to watch it?
I saw highlights of it. It's 3 hours long. That's a big commitment.
I know, but you can skip through Julian Edelman. You can skip through Randy Moss. Okay. There's some weird. I mean, there was a lot of peaks and valleys. Will Ferrell. Spoiler alert. Will Ferrell came out as Ron Burgundy and did a turn as Ron Burgundy.
Was it funny though, or did it fall flat?
It was flat.
Okay.
Ben Affleck.
What did he do?
Terrible.
Why does he have to get involved in everything?
They're
friends with Brady because he's
the whole Boston Mafia thing. He was weird. Gronkowski was weird, but it was sort of living down to type, and he was, as I was saying yesterday. I mean, some of the best jokes were at Gronkowski's expense, and the whole, he is basically an illiterate doofus was essentially the hit on Gronkowski. They were great. There were some surprises.
I thought Kim Kardashian was funny. I should have.
Somebody wrote one good line for her. Here it is.
Honestly, it's hard for me to watch people roast you, but I think enough of my family members have helped defend former football players.
All right.
That's not bad.
That's okay.
But do you have any of Brady when he was ripping on her? It's like, Kim, I'm surprised you're here. I mean, you're leaving your kids home with your husband? Or ex-husband?
Their father.
Their father, yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't seem happy about that.
Kardashian,
I know.
I can't.
I know. And I don't, I don't want Dan Proft to ever talk about the Kardashians.
No, he won't.
Next thing you know, you'll be wearing a neck pillow and Crocs.
Andrew Schultz, you may not know him. He's sort of a up-and-coming comedian, but he had a couple of good hits on Brady.
Tom said that the reason he loves football is because it allows him to be his most true, authentic version of himself, hiding behind a mask, throwing things at black people. I'm kidding. He never threw to the black guys. Gronkowski, Edelman, Welker. That's not a receiving corps. That's a law firm. And with that divorce coming up, you're going to fucking need him. Oh, that's why Dana's here. So you can learn how to fuck a Brazilian out of half their purse.
That was a good line. That specialized. He's talking about Dana White, UFC. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Who did? Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe had. Who's a Kill Tony podcaster. He had a good one on Gronk. Oh, he had a good one on Kevin Hart too. Kevin Hart emceed it.
Yeah. You don't like Kevin Hart, do you?
I mean, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he's particularly funny or talented.
Oh, he was good in Jumanji, too.
Jumanji?
Jumanji, that's what I meant to say.
I don't remember him in Jumanji. I don't remember Jumanji.
You would never
that well.
see that movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But here's Hinchcliffe, his hit on Hart. Nikki Glazer had a couple good ones on Hart, too.
Everyone's up here talking about what a big winner Tom is, but let me tell you, Tom is afraid of the Giants, which is why Kevin Hart is hosting tonight. It's true. All night, he's been using the stool that Aaron Hernandez kicked out from under himself.
Oh, my gosh.
It's true. Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting.
Another college encampment cleared out.
I was enjoying it so much.
Fox News. This one in Washington, D.C.
Why are you in riot gear?
Police went in and busted up a weeks-long encampment at George Washington University.
Just hours before, the GW president, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and D.C.'s police chief are expected to testify before the House Oversight Committee. A decision was made to clear the camps. At about 3:30 this morning, hundreds of police rolled in. At least 35 protesters were arrested. We're told some of those were students, some of them were not.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson near the campus. There were also dozens of arrests in New York City, where police cleared an encampment at the Fashion Institute of Technology. President Biden spoke out at a Holocaust remembrance event.
There is no place on any campus in America, any place in America, for anti-Semitism or hate speech or threats of violence of any kind.
Now, Israel has reopened a Gaza border crossing, allowing humanitarian aid in again for Palestinian civilians as talks continue in Egypt, trying to broker a ceasefire with Hamas. There's more tornado damage after storms hit several states.
I was sleeping and then everything was just shaking really bad.
He's near Portage, Michigan, where a mobile home park was twisted apart. A FedEx facility and other buildings also badly damaged. There were more than a dozen people injured. Former President Trump's trial gets a one-day break in New York after he failed to get a mistrial declared over testimony from the adult film star he paid before the 2016 election to keep quiet.
The judge had to warn Stormy Daniels and the prosecution that her testimony gave irrelevant and unnecessary details about her alleged 2006 affair with Trump. But despite admitting the witness is hard to control, the judge still decided to proceed with the case.
Fox's Brooks Singman, the former president, is charged with falsifying records related to the payments to Daniels. Another Trump criminal trial that was supposed to start this month has been delayed indefinitely, the federal classified documents case. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 56 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. A man is charged in a deadly shooting this past weekend at a mobile home park in an unincorporated area of Springfield. Brandon Berner is being held at the Sangamon County Jail on a murder charge. Authorities say Michael Newton died after he was shot Saturday outside a trailer in the 1000 block of North Edmond Street. Officials believe the shooting could be related to an earlier disturbance in the 600 block of North Wesley. A Petersburg, Illinois man is pleading guilty to child porn charges. Adam Power entered the guilty plea last week and will be sentenced in September. Prosecutors say while using online chatting applications like Snapchat and Kik, Power identified himself as a minor female to get minor males to produce child pornographic images and videos of themselves. Additionally, Power distributed and received child pornography. A Chicago woman accused of seriously wounding a man in a shooting on the city's south side earlier this year appeared in court on Tuesday. Makeda Thomas is charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery with great bodily harm, aggravated assault and discharge of a firearm, and reckless discharge of a firearm. Police say she shot a man on February 27th in the 4800 block of South Ashland. Northwest Suburban Des Plaines police are investigating a deadly Metro train incident. Authorities say a pedestrian was struck Monday night by an up Northwest line train near the Des Plaines station. The victim was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Campus police officials say they cleared the University of Chicago's pro-Palestine protest encampment at the Southside University. Close to 50 officers started taking down tents and makeshift barriers on Tuesday morning, ending an 8-day demonstration. After the encampment was removed, protesters made for the steps of Edward Levi Hall, where they linked arms peacefully as officers stood around them. Mayor Brandon Johnson says only campus police were involved in removing the encampment. There were no arrests or injuries. News is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free and find accurate and vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. A check of the roads is coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Charlie Kirk sees too much agreement in D.C.
They might shout at each other over abortion. They might shout at each other over guns. But that's all theatrics. When it comes down to what really matters, protecting big corporations, keeping our borders wide open, and relentlessly invading foreign countries and funding wars that have nothing to do with us, D.C. finds harmony.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by going to birchgold.com/protect. That's birchgold.com/protect. Take a stand for your financial future. Go to birchgold.com/protect right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
In the fast-paced rhythm of life, where demands can be relentless and time is precious, prioritizing your well-being can be hard. Not to worry. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements are convenient and easy to add to any schedule. Paired with eating more fresh produce, regular exercise, and a positive mindset, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements can help you keep your rhythm. Whether it be excelling in your day-to-day or just living in the moment, start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Bishop Ford inbound, starting to build from Cottage Grove to the Dan Ryan. On the Edens inbound, 16 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, it's already 30 inbound from O'Hare. Outbound side of the Kennedy, 28 to the airport. On the Ike and the Stevenson, you're seeing the usual delays. Dan Ryan inbound in the express lanes. That's where it's starting to slow from 33rd Street to I-55. Inbound on the Ryan from 95th into downtown at 22 minutes. Traffic is a service of ReviveYourLawn.com. Don't DIY, RYL. Revive your lawn with the landscape and design experts. Outdoor patios and kitchens, hardscapes, softscapes, lighting, and more. Get an instant online estimate today at reviveyourlawn.com. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center today, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle, breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We need to talk about former governor of New York as well as the current one. Let's start with the former. You remember Nipples Ring Gambino, don't you?
He was going to be the next president of the United States. He was America's governor.
Oh, yeah.
He was so good during COVID. Such a hero.
It's interesting. Do you remember the lockdowns?
Oh, yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah, I remember those kind of.
Uh-huh.
Vaguely, just a little bit.
How did you view the lockdowns and the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates and so forth? Did you view those as compulsory or voluntary?
They were mandated. It was a lockdown. You didn't have a choice. We didn't have choices. The America as we knew it was different.
See, I think, you right-wing extremists, I think that's what you think. Okay. But Andy Cuomo is graced us with an appearance on a podcast to disabuse us of some of the right-wing propaganda that people like Amy spread.
I believe if government were to now say, we just made a finding that there's a new virus and everyone should do X, Y, and Z, the amount of compliance with X, Y, and Z would be much, much lower than it was at the beginning of COVID, because people do not trust the government, especially on this issue, the way they did at the beginning. And that would be a complicating factor, right? When you have people who just don't listen, because government had no capacity to enforce any of this. You must wear a mask. And people wore masks in New York. But if they said, I'm not wearing a mask, there was nothing I could do about it. You must close your private business. I won't. Well, there was nothing I could really do about it. It was really all voluntary, and it was extraordinary when you think about it, that society acted with that uniformity voluntarily, because I had no enforcement capacity. So you have a reduced trust in government.
Is that your recollection that everything that occurred during COVID was private action, was voluntary? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
That makes me mad. Hearing him say that, why is he lying? Why is he acting like he's a COVID denier? That's what he's doing right there.
Yeah,
he's not taking responsibility for his action. He's just changing history and what transpired, and it's not going to work with this audience. Cuomo.
Well,
what's he doing now anyway?
It's podcast interviews, I guess.
Who doesn't have a podcast?
Exactly.
Everyone's gay and everyone's got a podcast. Okay.
That's right.
That's the new normal.
Pretty much.
Not unique because you're gay.
It is fun to listen to Cuomo talk about how it wouldn't go as smoothly now as it did then because people have lost their trust in government. At least a lot of people have, other than the Kool-Aid drinkers of the left. But that's one of my favorite techniques that politicians employ to distance themselves from responsibility for what they did. I'm a commentator now. I'm standing outside of this office I held, so I'm just here to explain what's going on, and I'm with you. I'm standing here with people looking up at the halls of power, and I'm just describing what's happening so that those in the halls of power understand it. Richie Daley was great at this.
Oh, really?
You know, Richie Daley perfected the somebody should do something about the schools, that he was in charge of business. And then you've seen different manifestations of it from different politicians over the year. You know, you see it work for somebody, and then you see a bunch of people repeat it because, you know, that's what they care about, is staying in office or getting to an office. And so there's the saying unreasonable things in a reasonable tone of voice, like Sack of Durbin does, and you see a lot of people mimic that. And then there's this dissociation game that they play. You know, I had nothing to do with what happened, and to the extent I did, it was voluntary. He recast what happened in New York as New York residents coming together to close their businesses, to put on masks, to stand in their idiot circles, to get their jabs because they were persuaded that this was the best course of action. If they were so easily persuaded and those courses of action were right, one hastens to add, then why would there be a diminished trust in government? Why wouldn't they do it again? If the COVIDians did everything right based on what they knew at the time, were transparent, had brought people along, and it was voluntary, then why has trust been impaired, Governor?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Yeah, voluntary. That's a hot one.
That's, oh my God.
You got to add that. You got, you know, in terms of the big book of revisionist history on COVID, that's got to be chapter 1. Everything that happened was voluntary. Now we'll build off of that. I wanted to fold in the current governor, too, Kathy Hochul, because when she took over, she continued the COVIDian policies. I mean, she doesn't have a mind of her own. She's just a leftist drone as well. And she's just not very... Remember, she gave this... I mean, just before we get to what she said recently, she was the one that made taking the vaccine like a religious experience. Remember, she gave a sermon about the vax, and it almost like you're receiving a sacrament. And to do so, to not do so would be to repudiate your Lord government. That was Hochul. Oh, we have to pull that bite. That was one of actually the more egregious examples of COVIDian religiosity, if you want to use that description, during the lockdowns and the mandates and so forth. But
while we're looking
more
for
recently,
that, 'cause we'll find it. Yeah, more recently, she was at the Milken Institute Global Conference in L.A. on Monday. You've been there, right? Yeah.
Michael Milken. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was speaking, and now she's apologizing for how she spoke. Just to see if this is offensive or not.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. I've created this.
Black kids don't know what a computer is.
It reminds me of Kamala Harris saying, farmers don't have access to copy machines.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Right.
Well, she issued an apology, Dan. I misspoke, and I regret it. Of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to the technology needed to get them on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI. Huh?
What is that? Not only do they know what computers are, I would bet dollars to donuts, as in CPS, they receive computers from the school.
Right. I mean, how could everybody was on a computer during COVID?
Well,
for almost 2 years.
But her her apology, her apology is what they don't have. They know what computers are, but they don't have access to the technology that blah 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 blah. Well, they do though. They do have access in schools. Schools giving them laptops, or iPads or whatever.
It's not like saying you don't know what a toilet is. Everybody knows what a computer is. Everybody knows what a door is. Everybody knows.
Yeah, but what she's doing there, and what Chris Cuomo is doing there, is you have to create a certain image of a circumstance like COVID or of a group of people in order to advance, your command control philosophy of society. So that's what she's doing. I mean, it's actually interesting to me that there hasn't been more of a hue and cry about Hochul's idiotic statement. But there's a reason there's not the hue and cry. Is because, well, the teachers' unions, so-called black leaders in the community, whether they be religious leaders or elected officials, they rely on people to have this distorted view of black America, that every black family is on the dole, and every black kid is undernourished and underserved and doesn't have a computer and eats dirt. They live in third world conditions and so on and so forth. And that's just not the case. But I mean, you're not going to have Kathy Hochul platform stories about black entrepreneurial success or black success in any realm other than government, elected office, not private sector success, not success because of their initiative and talent. I mean, sports and entertainment, okay, fine, but I'm talking private sector where most people reside. Because if you're platforming success stories, then what's all this business that we need the state to uplift people? That sort of runs counter to their entire value proposition and their entire desire to see black Americans in particular maintain a disproportionate dependency on the government, because that means more likely than not we have that guaranteed vote. We have that constituency locked in.
Got a text message. Dan and Amy, I think she meant to say that the kids can't spell computer.
Well, I mean, in government school systems in big cities, that knows no race. Frankly, in a lot of suburban schools, the same could be said just about in terms of the reading and math scores that we've been seeing. Oh, and by the way, how precipitously they've declined since the voluntary lockdowns, when everybody voluntarily decided not to send their kids to school and voluntarily decided to shutter their businesses. Right. Andrew Cuomo. Well, of course, he needs to recast that image, distance himself from responsibility. And that's the same thing that Hochul is doing. I mean, they're in charge of systems they can't defend. So, and they were in charge when they made decisions they no longer want to defend. So what do? You use your mascots. And poor black kids.
Yep.
That's a mascot for the Democrat Socialist Party. Bob Woodson and Thomas Sowell and others have one approach. Shelby Steele have one approach. And the leftist honkies with their savior complexes like Hochul and Andy Cuomo have a different approach. Yeah, but notice how little blowback they're getting. Quick apology that's a non-apology. It doesn't even make sense. No. Oh, you know what she was trying to say. I know. No, I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to cast this image in people's eyes that we're not spending enough and this and that. And yeah, right. And if you don't, then you're leaving these poor black kids behind. Really? And what's the actual situation in terms of how much spend and what the product has been, what the opportunities have been, what the state of majority black neighborhoods in the Bronx or Chicago are, all at the hands of Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo and their, Chicago counterparts. Different names, same philosophy. Pat, St. John, Indiana.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
So there is some truth in Andrew Cuomo's statement, but in typical liberal fashion, he's taken the truth and distorted it to try to serve his own needs, his own future success. I don't know if he's going to try to get back in the political realm, but people aren't going to comply necessarily because they distrust the government, which they always have. They won't comply because it didn't work. And to say that he didn't have the authority to do lockdowns and to force people to wear masks is true, but he still did it anyway. And that's
well, yeah. I take your point. Thanks for the call, Pat. Right. I mean, technically you could argue maybe emergency powers and so on and so forth, but you're right. It's that it was destruction for very little benefit. The cost-benefit analysis was that the COVIDian lockdown policies cost way too much for the benefits they produced, to the extent that there are any discernible benefits distinguishable from not locking down.
It didn't save lives; it destroyed livelihoods.
The whole point is the studies mainly suggest that it didn't save lives on net from not locking down. So there was, when you net it out, it was all cost and no benefit. Amish texter texting in. So the parents arrested at their kids' football games without a mask. Gym owners open, church attendees, people fired from their jobs. That was all just our imagination. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I remember I got in trouble. CPS thought I was inciting violence because I tweeted a picture of all the parents, all of us scrunched together outside the fence, the chain link fence, watching our kids play football when they could have let us in and we would have spread out. But no. I'm like, that's not inciting violence. I'm just showing your stupidity. Idiots.
Well, so the arrests, the shutdowns, and then also what happened that Cuomo doesn't want to talk about with his people coming together voluntarily, like it was a "We Are the World" moment, instead of what it really was a mob mentality around the latest pronouncements from the state that engendered hysteria among enough people that they acted like Philistines to those who disagreed with them or those who made different choices. Yeah, this was not a wonderful moment of society coming together and agreeing to do something collectively. That's a fairy tale. Elliot, Southside.
Good morning, Dan and Navy. Thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to comment on Cuomo. I mean, this guy is a narcissist, a borderline sociopath. And we remember the talks he gave. I think he even got an Emmy at one point for those talks. Meanwhile, his brother was pushing the narrative on CNN. And an interesting thing that came up this week, his brother is actually acknowledging vaccine injury and admitting to have it himself.
Yep.
And there's also a New York Times article out talking about vaccine injury, which I think is just unbelievable at this point. We're getting this trickle truth of what really happened and them trying to change the narrative and still push forward.
Exactly right. Thanks for the call, Elliot. And Fredo Cuomo, Nipple Rings Gambino's brother there that you mentioned, I mean, he was a big goon, propagandist, moralizer on all the COVIDian mandates, including the jab mandates, wasn't he? And now he is vaccine injured. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a whole show. And he had a male nurse on who's also got, not long COVID, but an injury from the vaccine.
And I'm sure there was a tearful apology for all the damage that Chris Cuomo did from his perch at CNN, right? No? Yeah, didn't think so. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
All right. Real quick, Dan, just so you know, AstraZeneca, too, they have withdrawn the jab worldwide. No more COVID vaccines because there's something wrong with it. No,
Well,
they're not admitting that there's something wrong with it.
No, of course. Nobody's admitting anything. We know that. Yeah, of course.
Golf outing's coming up. Are you excited? It is going to be taking place on Wednesday, June 19th. A lot of people have that day off, so come out and partner up with us for a good cause. We're partnering with Tunnel to Towers again. Great organization. They help provide for first responders, our military heroes, including homeless vets. So we're excited to help raise money for them. Again, it's Wednesday, June 19th at the McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. It's where we played last year. We have foursomes. We have twosomes available. So check it out. There's a morning shotgun start and an afternoon shotgun start. We'll have, prizes for winning foursome, longest drive, closest to the pin, as well as a silent auction. And if you own a business or run the marketing for a business, when you purchase that foursome, guess what? We're going to give you an AM 560 marketing package that includes 25 one-minute commercials, as well as a digital marketing package as well. So, it's a digital marketing analysis. But let's talk about the fun stuff. Golfing, morning shotgun start and afternoon shotgun start. So get your foursome together, your twosome, and we will see you on Wednesday, June 19th. To sign up, simply go to 560theanswer.com/golf.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
University of Chicago liberated from the liberators by the president there. That's a question mark, not a statement. 636.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Crystal Blue is in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 57 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. A 13-year-old girl is hospitalized in stable condition after she was shot on the south side. The crime happened Tuesday morning in the 8200 block of South Commercial Avenue. No arrests have been made, and the investigation is ongoing. Police are looking for the culprits who stole an ATM from a business on Chicago's northwest side. The incident happened Tuesday morning in the 1800 block of Northwestern Avenue in the Logan Square neighborhood. Authorities say a group crashed a dark SUV into a business and removed its ATM. No one is in custody. Google's redevelopment of the Thompson Center in Chicago is underway. Governor Pritzker said this project shows the state government has been able to deliver on its goals.
Putting this property in the hands of private business, bringing jobs and revitalization to this area of the loop, and delivering for the taxpayers.
Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson attended a groundbreaking ceremony on Monday to officially kick off the $280 million project. Crews are transforming the building at 100 West Randolph Street into the tech giant's Chicago headquarters. The site is expected to be operational by 2026 and will house 2,000 employees. News is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free to find accurate and vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dennis Prager isn't sure how people vote Democrat.
Has the left given us a non-binary term for mother? My parent, I guess that's it. They're against mother and father. I have read that to you on a number of occasions. And people still vote Democrat. The tragedy is that if the country is destroyed from within, a vast number of good people are going to be hurt.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Oh, it's been actually really good. I'm 81 years old. I'm a retired nurse, and I have found, I've taken it for about 5 years, I do feel better. At first, there wasn't a drastic change, but I found it really has made, a difference in my lifestyle. It does improve our quality of life.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi. This is Pastor Kelvin from Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights. It is time to get your children and grandchildren out of the godless government schools. How can we subject our loved ones to forced, ungodly psychological examinations and perverse sexual teachings? You would not send your child to a school that teaches 2 + 2 is 5. What is being taught today is far worse and damaging to minds and hearts. We can help through our on-campus Christian school and homeschool program. For over 55 years, we have operated a Christian school now in Arlington Heights, and we have served hundreds of thousands of families across our nation and foreign countries through our homeschool program, Christian Liberty Homeschools. Visit ChristianLiberty.com to learn more or to schedule a tour of our excellent 12-acre facility. Take action today. Visit ChristianLiberty.com, ChristianLiberty.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Tri-State 294 North, heavy from Roosevelt to the Ike 290. We've got flooding in Orland Park at 143rd at Wolf and Creek Crossing. The Edens, 20 minutes inbound from Lake Cook to Montrose. The inbound Kennedy, that's 50 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound Kennedy, 33 to get out to the airport. On the Eisenhower inbound, it's already 52 from 390 to Congress. Stevenson in at 53 minutes from 355 to DeSable Lakeshore Drive. On the Dan Ryan in 20 minutes from 95th into downtown. Traffic is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Mother's Day, it's coming up, and Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on great gifts that mom's going to love. All for $15 and under. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you today at Macy's Backstage TeamHawkberg.com. It's off price, on trend, arriving daily. Reporting from the Team Hawkberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle, breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I want to get to the University of Chicago president at chemistry egghead, Ella Visados, his dispersing the encampment and writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal restating these alleged University of Chicago principles. I want to get to that, but there's a more pressing matter on campus right now.
What's that?
We have kids at Princeton who are not properly being chaperoned. We have kids at Princeton that are taking this courageous stand, sacrificing themselves for the greater good of others, inspired, and they are not receiving proper oversight from medical personnel.
Us as strikers, we will continue to starve until they meet our demands. In addition, I would like to note that the administration is also lying to the media.
Shame.
To the media, they have
shame.
announced that they have been consistently sending their own doctors to come to our area and monitor us hunger strikers and monitor our health. This is a lie. They are not monitoring our health. They are not keeping track of our vitals. They are not at all taking care of us in any regard. They have only sent a spokesperson from UHS twice to give us informational pamphlets, but they are not at all taking care of us in any regard, and I want to make that very clear, that they are not caring for us, that they do not care for us, and they are lying.
Oh my God, I lie.
Could you, have you ever heard of something so cruel and inhumane?
Oh my God.
The hunger strikers at Princeton and campus, as you heard, are not, they were promised top doctors to make sure that their vitals stay within, a healthy range, and they're not getting that medical help.
It's like a parody, like a big comedy or something.
It's not a comedy. It's not parody.
They're dressed, in the garb,
One of the things that we've learned, or many of us have learned, I think, but much of the country has learned over the last several weeks of these campus encampments and hunger strikes and the like, it's just how dumb a lot of the kids that go to these supposed elite universities really are.
Can I introduce you to one?
Please.
He goes to University of Chicago. Of course, they had to sign up, no media for a few days, and then, they got kicked out finally. But students aren't happy with it. This student, he wouldn't say his name, but he's got an opinion.
I think that any person who sees a walkway blocked with a tent and thinks the appropriate response is to beat students with shields and sticks is a very sick person.
Well,
Nobody
who's doing
beat
that?
no one. I mean, they had the shields out, to try to get them, and there was some pushing back and forth. No one was injured. No one was arrested. And that's what makes me mad, because you see these people pushing police. And that's okay. And nobody's getting suspended. No one's getting arrested. Nothing to see here.
Just because the encampment has been cleared now doesn't clear away our knowledge of the possibility that a different university could exist.
What?
I know. What?
It doesn't clear that a possibility of a different university could exist. Oh, I mean, they're going to transform University of Chicago. Is that what that word salad was supposed to indicate?
Save the world, Dan.
So okay. So those kids, we'll get to Chicago, but I was just thinking about the hunger strike kids because they're really, they're heroes. I mean, they're sacrificing their bodies, their Ivy League bodies, and I'm just thinking that I haven't heard from Princeton's med school, but we have heard from Harvard and Columbia because they've got music videos out. So maybe Harvard and Columbia could dispatch some of these future doctors to Princeton, New Jersey.
Looking at my notes, but my knowledge ain't fleeting. Spaced repetition, give me something to believe in. Passed all my tests, but I just skim the reading. In the food chain, we're the ones that eat you. Harvard Med ain't no bottom feeder. MD stands for my demeanor. Ask permission before I ever greet you. Does it radiate? Does it come with strain? Scale 1 to 10, can you rate the pain? When I knock the door, you ask who is it? You can check my code, it'll spell my name.
Yeah, you're messing with some Harvard MDs. Found my best friends for life from this Harvard MD. Giving everything we got for this Harvard MD.
Now from the top, make it drop, come get your Harvard MD. You got your offer, now say yes to this Harvard MD. We're talking doc, that's a Harvard MD. You deserve the spot, you got future Harvard MD.
There's some dogs in this house. There's some dogs in this house. There's some dogs in this house. There's some dogs.
If you watch the video with the accompanying dancing, you'll be even more horrified. But it's useful because you're going to want to download these videos. The Columbia one too. We'll share in a second.
Oh, there's more.
Of course, Columbia's got one.
And they all have masks on because they're so.
No, they don't. Not all of them. And you're going to want to keep those handy because you're going to want to check any doctor you go to. Say these kids get out of medical school, do their residency in a few years. In five years or a little bit, maybe perhaps further out, you're going to want to make sure you're not going to one of these doctors. Oh, my doctor, he went to Harvard Med School. Better check it. Better check it.
Can he dance or she dance?
Looking at all these hunger strikers and these model Hamas Islamist sympathizers on campus, include the med schools, not just in terms of hiring decisions, but in terms of being a patient or a customer in the case of the non-doctors. Here's Columbia's offering in response.
Let me see.
Let's come explore. Really gotta come up to New York. Let's over here. Know where to go next year. Let's give a ride. Other schools can match the vibe. Like the way we do it, so get to it. Time to make a move.
Like the marching band.
This one feels more like a Scrubs skit.
Yeah, and they're wearing their scrubs. They're very energetic.
Yeah, a lot more dancing in this one.
Yeah. Tell this girl.
We're all in this together. Where did we hear this before?
Support us. We're all in this together. So next year, you and me, NYP, we're the future. Remix everywhere, acceptance letters in the air. You know what to do, so get right to it. Come on, everyone.
That was a little more peppy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was,
We're all in this together. What does that remind you of?
Oh, COVID. We're all in this together.
Of course. And by the way,
All
there's something else that was established during COVID that's a terrible precedent.
What?
It's these medical professionals doing dance routines and dance videos and posting all this nonsense online. This is where the kids got it from.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because remember the nurses would, the heroes, the real heroes out there?
Yeah.
Who still get discounts in certain cell phone companies and things like that, yeah.
Yeah, the heroes, right up until they became sentinels of the state. Oh, and big pharma companies. Yeah. If Be careful when you start calling entire groups of people heroes.
And by the way, AstraZeneca pulled their COVID vaccine because there's a high number of reports of blood clots.
Nick at Edison Park.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that White Bread Astroturf rap song. It was a rap with a capital C.
Thanks for the call, Nick. Yeah, that was some white bread rapping there at Harvard. No question about it. I wouldn't. Trying to think what it initially conjured up. I think when after the first girl was rapping and went to the girl that was enunciating every syllable. I think they had a little bit of a third base action going on until they got to the honky chick that was over enunciating.
You're really breaking this down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
how many times have you watched it?
These are Harvard and Columbia med students. These are our betters. You just heard it. It's our future. Pretty bleak. Brian, St. John, Indiana.
Hey, what's up, guys? What makes my blood boil is that Princeton chick talking about they're not taking care of us. But piggyback off of that, my point is these geniuses up at these Ivy League schools, you got to remember, they're the ones being taught by Jared Bernstein. That's all I got. Bye.
Jared Bernstein, yeah, right. The top economist who doesn't understand why the government borrows money. I'm still working on that. Well, he's not partly because he's not an economist. He's a social worker and I guess some sort of half-assed musician himself. Robert in Bloomingdale.
Hi, guys. Boy, these Princeton and Harvard graduates and stuff, boy, they're going to be in a tough spot in life because the world doesn't owe you anything and I don't owe you anything, and that's just the way it is. Thank you.
We're probably paying for some of their student loans.
Well, we got to take care of them. Well, obviously, we want to do a better job taking care of those poor Princeton kids than Princeton University is, not even sending doctors out there to make sure their blood pressure and everything else is where it needs to be. Sad. They promised. They lied to us. Oh.
No. Life's full of disappointments? No.
Jim and Lyle.
Are you sure that one from Columbia wasn't the DeFranco family?
I remember the DeFrancos. I had their poster on my wall.
Thanks for the call, Jim. Yeah, I mean,
They competed with the Osmonds.
There was some range there. Yeah, there was a little Osmond.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? I'm sure you haven't. I don't even know why I'm asking you this question. Have you ever seen High School Musical?
No.
Okay, good.
Let's come explore. Really gotta come up to New York. Pre-meds over here. Know where to go next year. Pre-meds, you've arrived. Other schools can't match the vibe. Like the way we do it, so get to it. Time to make a move.
Yeah, wait, I just want to get that when they go high again. Hold on a second. There it is. There it is. They may have a ringer or two in there at Columbia. I mean, a musical ringer, not a medical ringer. By the way, yes, sir. Yeah. One of the things you notice in both of those videos, particularly the Columbia video, mostly chicks.
Yeah, where are the men? Well, maybe they sat that one out because they were studying.
I don't know.
Got a thing. This would be a thing. I got a thing. I have a text message. Dan and Amy, I feel bad for the normal kids who just want to graduate and go on with their lives, and their graduations are altered or canceled because of these idiots.
Yeah, but I just have to say again, I mean, this is my personal preference, but I think graduations are overrated. Not that they should be canceled because you have these neo-Jacobins on campus interrupting things, but I just, like, missing a graduation is, like, probably a relief to a lot of these kids.
Right. Another text message. Dan and Amy, I'm a doctor in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for volunteers to staff a medical mission to Princeton. Based on what I'm seeing, most of them need Ozempic.
Yeah, exactly. That's the hunger strike. Where are Doctors Without Borders why aren't they being dispatched to Princeton, New Jersey? They're in need. They're kicking around in places like sub-Saharan Africa and Haiti when Princeton, New Jersey, the undergrads there need them, for God's sakes. Where's your humanity, man?
Most of those who are on the hunger strike could go 6 months without food and still be fat. Oh, no,
There
that's
are
just
some.
catty.
Some of the individual hunger strikers are a bit portly. That is true. But I appreciate Chicago leading the way. That doctor you read is going to organize a medical mission.
Yeah,
wonderful. Joe and Glen Ellen.
Dan and Amy, why aren't these college students protesting around the U.S. Capitol? Because it's our Congress that's sending Israel all this money in the first place. Are they afraid they're going to be accused of an insurrection if they do that?
I don't know. I mean, they're just George Washington University. I think they're afraid to go off campus. I just think that they have this. They're taking over the campus. That's something they can take over. You can't take over the mall. You can't take over the halls of power in Washington, D.C. Although I know our democracy hung in the balance. Okay. These are just little campus creatures. They don't want to. They want to live in the make believe world where they put up a little tent community and chant and screech all day, and the adults cater to their every whim.
Well, there's one student at University of Chicago, real quick, I just want to get this in. His name's Declan Hurley. He gets what it's all about, and he's happy that the encampment is gone.
I'm so happy to see that encampment down. Our campus is liberated. There were a tremendous number of outsiders on this campus, which was incredibly dangerous in itself. And I also got the sense professors were inciting these students to this horrible behavior.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem is just because the encampment's down doesn't mean the enemies aren't inside the perimeter.
And they all came out and spoke together as a group.
Alex, West Dundee.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. That music was right up there with the Bears Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yeah, it was Super Bowl Shuffle quality. Thanks for the call.
I think the 85 Bears need more recognition, right?
The Columbia or the Harvard, that chick with the enunciation, enunciating every word, while trying to rap. That was almost as white bread as Gary Fensick in the Super Bowl Shuffle. Almost.
A Yale grad, yes.
Yeah, in the Ivy League. Yeah.
He's better than us.
It's an affliction. Will and Skokie.
Good morning. The protesters are using the tried and true tactic that's done by most 3-year-olds. I'm going to hold my breath until I turn blue, until you give me what I want. So I'm going to hurt myself, and if you don't help me from hurting myself or give me what I want, then it's your fault. That's stupid.
Right.
Give me that.
Thanks for the call. Yeah. Don't make me do it. Do it. I don't care. No, whatever. Matt's outside.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I think I have 2 new ringtones now.
Yeah, exactly. They're perfect, aren't they? Man, thanks for the call, Matt. That we're all in this together refrain for the Columbia Med School video. I mean, that'll put a little, kick in your step, huh? Get out there and spread a little sunshine like those med students. Yeah. The University of Chicago president posted this penned this op-ed for the Wall Street Journal, and he talked about how he middled the issue. You have to give some leeway for protesters, but then it can't go so far that it starts to disrupt life on campus and so forth, and so they crossed that line, and that's why I had to, send in the jackbooted thugs to take down their encampment, blah blah blah. This guy's weak. Yeah. He may not be as weak as Michael Schill at Northwestern, but he's pretty weak. He's because he started. And this guy's like a chemistry. He's a smart guy. He's an accomplished chemist, but he's just an egghead, and he's not a leader, and he's in an environment that just requires like being a man. And I don't mean that women can't be tough and lay down the law in these situations too, but it just requires some fortitude. It requires some character, a bit of a spine. It's just not present. So I authorized the opening of a dialogue with... This is, by the way, his actual voice.
Okay.
So I authorized the opening of a dialogue with the protesters, even though that extended number of days the university was disrupted. I won't describe the sequence or the content of those discussions since we agreed that our exchanges would be made private unless we reached a favorable conclusion. Okay, Mr. President. You know, this is like a high-level summit where we're equals at the table. No, you're not. The heads of state came together to discuss a nuclear proliferation treaty. That's the way this sounds. It's, why can't we apply, the dignity and the decorum and the mutual respect of, geopolitical negotiations to this? Because you're not dealing on the same level. They have no legitimacy. And you're abdicating your legitimacy as the authority on campus. It's not to say you don't allow protesting, you don't allow some coloring outside the lines. I'm on the other side of that. That was my experience at Northwestern, and I get it. But I'm free marketplace of ideas, closest to a free speech absolutist as you could get. But this is just nonsense, all this negotiation, keeping things private. And so we didn't reach a resolution because the core of the demands violated the university's principles and all of this high-minded sort of post-SALT II type of talk. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The depth of the philosophical difference became clear. I decided to end the dialogue. I yielded on some time, place, and manner policies and allowed some degree of disruption in favor of protests. Engage in a dialogue with those who were disrupting the university as long as they were prepared to face discipline. But there was no way I would ever compromise on institutional neutrality. And that's what they demanded, the protesters, that we take the position of the Palestinians and basically Hamas, really, in this war in Gaza. We couldn't do that. Yeah, actually, we wouldn't compromise neutrality, and this is supposed to be high-minded? You wouldn't compromise neutrality with a bunch of kids that are promoting a terrorist organization that committed that terrorist attack on October 7th?
I don't know what happened to these children. And the spreading hate of Israel and Jewish people and not letting them walk on their own college campus in certain areas because they're Jewish. If they were black and they did this, come on.
Well, I don't know if that was necessarily the situation in Chicago, but it was in other places. And the response is just as mealy-mouthed, if not more mealy-mouthed, than what we got from the University of Chicago president. It's just pathetic. There's no other way to describe it. Rod Dreher coming up at 7:07.
It is now 7 o'clock. And you're listening to AM 560 WIND Chicago.
Police in riot gear at another college campus. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And pro-Palestinian protesters were angry about it early this morning in the nation's capital.
Hundreds of police officers cleared the encampment here at George Washington University about 2 weeks after it began. The statue of George Washington remains defaced, but at least 35 protesters were arrested.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson near the campus. Another encampment broken up also in New York City. In the war in Gaza that's being protested, Israel's reopened one border crossing, allowing humanitarian aid for Palestinian civilians.
But the vital Rafah checkpoint remains closed after it was seized by an Israeli tank brigade. People there still report heavy shelling in the area. Meanwhile, CIA Director William Burns is back in Egypt to resume talks on a pause in the fighting.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Former President Trump doesn't have to go to court this morning in New York. It's an off day at a trial after Stormy Daniels' testimony about the alleged sexual encounter he paid her to keep quiet about before the 2016 election, but he wasn't impressed.
Their case is totally falling apart. They have nothing on books and records, and even something that should bear very little relationship to the case. It's just a disaster.
He denies the charge of falsifying records and the payments to Daniels. The Trump classified documents federal trial that was supposed to start this month is on hold indefinitely over several legal disputes in that case.
Judge Eileen Cannon has set some deadlines, many deadlines, at least a dozen going on late into the summer, pushing the trial back at least until the end of July.
Fox's David Spunt. There's tornado damage in Michigan. A FedEx facility was hit hard, trapping workers inside for a short time. Lauren Coomer with Fox 17 TV standing near debris strewn about in Pavilion Township, not far.
A mobile home community that was hit as well. About 16 to 20 homes were destroyed in there. Thankfully, this morning, the only injuries that we're hearing of
America's
are very
listening
minimal.
to Fox.
Good morning. It's 58 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. A Michigan woman is pleading guilty to murdering her newborn twin sons more than 20 years ago in the Chicago area. Antoinette Briley entered the guilty plea yesterday and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Authorities say the bodies of the twins were discovered in June 2003 by a waste management employee in unincorporated Stickney Township. An autopsy determined the children died of asphyxiation and their deaths were ruled homicides. The case remained unsolved until 2018 when police used DNA evidence to identify Briley as the victim's potential birth mother. After she was arrested in December 2021 in Cook County, Briley admitted her involvement in the boys' death and the disposal of their bodies. An investigation is underway following complaints about the actions of Chicago police officers during a pro-Palestinian protest near the Art Institute of Chicago this past weekend. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability has opened a preliminary probe. Nearly 70 protesters were arrested as police cleared an encampment at the Art Institute on Saturday. The Chicago Police Department said COPA had its full cooperation for the investigation. Police are confirming that the body of a missing Bolingbrook man has been found in Chicago. Edward Gardner's family reported him missing on March 14, 2022. He was last seen the day before in Chicago. 2 weeks later, his rented white Dodge Charger was involved in a crash in Hammond, Indiana. The people inside the Charger ran from the crash scene, but investigators don't believe Gardner was involved. Police say his body was found on March 20th in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood, but was just identified yesterday. An investigation into his death is ongoing. The Blackhawks will have the second overall pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. Chicago landed the second pick for the second time in franchise history in last night's NHL Draft Lottery. The Hawks won the draft lottery last year and went on to select Canadian phenom Connor Bedard with the top pick. The 2024 NHL Draft will be held June 28th and 29th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. News is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free and find accurate, vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Brandon Tatum can see the trend.
All of this in an attempt to destroy Donald Trump's reputation and destroy him from being the president of the United States of America. But it's not working, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the polls. Donald Trump is up. If the man is getting indicted 450,000 times and he's going up in the polls, that tell you that American people aren't buying the bull crap that they're throwing out. Joe Biden is a dead man walking. Everybody can see it. Everybody knows it. Your mama, your grandma, your cousin, them.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by going to birchgold.com/protect. That's birchgold.com/protect. Take a stand for your financial future. Go to birchgold.com/protect right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Oh, it's been actually really good. I'm 81 years old. I'm a retired nurse, and I have found, I've taken it for about 5 years, I do feel better. At first, there wasn't a drastic change, but I found it really has made, a difference in my lifestyle. It does improve our quality of life.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Edens, 40 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, the Kennedy Inn already heavy. It's an hour and 6 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound set of the Kennedy is 42 from downtown to the airport. Eisenhower inbound, that's running an hour and 4 from 390 to Congress. Stevenson Inn, it's heavy from 355 to DeSavo Lakeshore Drive. That's running an hour and 2 minutes in the Dan Ryan Inn, 32 minutes from 95th into downtown. Traffic is a service of In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder Jr. Now heard on Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560. Tune in and find hope as Jim Scudder explores God's world, His Word, and His world each Sunday morning right here on AM 560 The Answer. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle. Breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, in an effort to misdirect away from the barbarism that is pervading college campuses right now. Here comes No Justice, No Peace Maxine Waters and other mouthpieces to tell Americans scary stories about things that go bump in the night.
This is a man who we better be careful about. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the Justice Department and I'm going to ask the president to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses. I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, does the FBI know about this?
The FBI doesn't because they're focused on Catholics who attend the Latin Mass. But they're now going to look, I'm sure, at the urging of Maxine Waters up into the hills for these conservative Huns that are, salted away somewhere, plotting which population centers they will attack as soon as Trump is installed as the president of the United States again. But you have to. What else do they have to sell? It's funny because against rhetoric like that, you have this hagiographic Vanity Fair piece on the Biden Brain Trust. We're not selling hysteria. The cold calculation and unyielding optimism of the Biden Brain Trust. And you get these rhetorical flourishes from Jen Dillon, who's Biden's campaign manager, in the piece. Like, we have to keep my eye on the most. I have to keep my eye on the most important thing. We're keeping focused on the most important thing, which is a future for my kids. That's what's at stake. But they're not selling hysteria. No, Maxine Waters isn't selling hysteria. She's not trying to get you to avert your eyes from the border or from your nearest college campus and be frightened about the unseen that is just around the corner waiting to pounce and enslave you. and your children and so on and so forth. I don't think it's going to work, partly because, unfortunately, for this crowd, I mean, they've been a good job. They've done a good job, the left has, of careening us from one moral panic to the other. But the problem with the Trump hysteria that they're trying to instigate is he was already president. I just go back to this. It's pretty simple because I think most people are sort of commonsensical, and they may not have great institutional memory, but they can remember to 2016 to 2020. And, as people are revealing in the polling that's been done, things were a little bit better for me back in 16 to 20 with Trump. I don't really like the guy, or I don't like his tweets, or this or that. I remember this incident or that statement he made, or that particular policy that I'm misremembering because of how it was demonized by the press and distorted and demonized by the press. But the net is, I mean, do I think that he's a tyrant? Do I think this is the end of the republic if Trump is reelected? No. I mean, who really believes that? You have to really repeat. Yeah, you have to repeat that to yourself a lot of times, and you have to be really incentivized to do so, like with spots on cable news shows, with re-election, with campaign financing, in order to try to, peddle that snake oil. I think it's just I just don't think it's going to work. And maybe that's a smokescreen for another smokescreen that has more to do with the mechanics of elections, but that's a topic for another time. Let's talk a little bit more about campus culture with Rod Dreher. His Substack is at Rod Dreher, Dreher. He's a contributing editor and former senior editor for the American Conservative. He's the author of the New York Times bestsellers Live Not by Lies, The Benedict Option, and The Little Way of Ruthie Lemming. Rod, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be here. And did somebody say Hans earlier? Because I'm talking to you from Hungary today.
So I hope I haven't offended. Yes, I did say Hans. Yeah.
No, we put the Han in Hungary over here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Right. I mean, the Hungary's evolved a little bit from the Middle Ages, so I don't think it's right. It's problematic anymore.
You get demonized all the time in the left-wing media in the U.S., but when people come over here from America and see what a peaceful society looks like with law and order and controlled borders, they change their tune.
Well, that was the topic of the piece, your recent piece, and I was really interested in the recounting you had of conversations with Peter Boghossian, formerly of Portland State University. We've had him on the show. A man of the left, but I mean, very much a believer in free speech and free thought and a free people. And his experience leaving Antifa University there in the Pacific Northwest and coming to Hungary. Tell us about it.
Yeah, back in 2021, I was finishing my first fellowship over here in Budapest at the Danube Institute. And I got an email that fall from Peter. We didn't know each other. We had mutual friends. He said, listen, I've been offered a fellowship at MCC, which is a college here in Budapest. It's associated with conservatives. He said, look, I'm not a conservative, but I'm curious to come over there. But I hear in the media that Hungary is this far-right fascist country. Is it true? I said, look, Peter, you're going to find if you come over here that you are far more free to speak your mind as an atheist and as a leftist here in Viktor Orban's Hungary than at your own university in America. So he came over, and I ran into him for the first time in person when I came back for a second fellowship. And Peter said, man, you are absolutely right. They let me say whatever I want to. They told me that they want their students to be challenged by someone from the left, by someone who doesn't believe in God. He said, you're right. I have so much more freedom here than I ever did at Portland State.
I mean, it's such an indictment of what supposedly some of the best universities in the Western world have become, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. And, I talk to other expatriates who live here from the U.S. or from elsewhere in Western Europe, and they still get emails and phone calls from people saying, are you okay there? Or the Brown March? And, we keep trying to tell them you have so much more freedom of speech, freedom to do what you want here in Hungary, despite what the media say.
Well, and it was, and you mentioned it, secure border, because that's one of the reasons that Hungary has been cast by Western media as it has, because Orban was aligned with Trump, and they were both talking about border security, and Orban was advancing the interests of border security in Hungary, and so they were perceived as, they just turned Orban, and like they did Bolsonaro, into Trump in Eastern Europe, Trump in South America. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was in Paris on a book tour in France, and everybody there was terrified of civil war coming, of the suburbs, which are full of Islamic militants blowing up. And I realized when I was there in the capital of France that Viktor Orban is right. If you want to have law and order in your society and keep the peace, you need to have secure borders, and you need to keep Middle Eastern migrants out. That's something that's very dangerous to say here in Europe. You get demonized for it. But I tell you, when people come over from London, from Paris, from Rome, they're always amazed by how Budapest still feels like Europe. You can still walk around. You don't see beggars everywhere. You don't see migrants waiting to pick your pocket. It feels normal.
Are there any college protests going on there?
No, none at all.
Really?
But if they wanted to have them, they could. That's the thing. There's a significant opposition here in the capital city to the Orban government. Budapest is a liberal capital, and they have protests all the time. They even have a gay pride march, even though Hungary does not accept gay marriage. They have a gay pride march. Nobody cares. It is a free country.
So, I mean, are there, not to get too much into Hungarian politics, but just this picture of Orban in the West is interesting. The propagandizing versus the reality that you're describing being there. So, I mean, you're obviously a small L liberal person philosophically. So are there things that the Orban administration is doing that are concerning to you, that beyond sort of like the typical big government overreaches? I mean, things that have any sort of fascistic overtones?
No, that they drop the F-bomb all the time. I will tell you one thing, and I hear this from a lot of conservatives in Hungary who vote Orban. They're really concerned about corruption, about people who are close to the government getting sweetheart deals, things like that. I don't speak the Hungarian language, but I hear it enough from government supporters that I know it must be a real thing. Here's the thing. I talked before the last election to a young evangelical Christian woman I know who is a conservative voter normally. I asked her, who are you going to vote for in the next election? She said, I'm going to vote for Viktor Orban, because even though I'm concerned about the corruption, there are two kinds of corruption. The kind of corruption that we think that Orban's party practices is normal. It's not right, but this is a normal sort of corruption that we can take care of in Parliament if we need to. But if the left gets in power, they're going to bring in a very different and more dangerous kind of corruption. They're going to bring in gender ideology. They're going to open the borders and all of the whole George Soros nightmare agenda that we all know so well. So that's why she would rather vote for somebody like Viktor Orban than the left, because of the different types of corruption. I think that's really wise. And look, that's why, even though I was a Ron DeSantis guy, I'm planning to vote for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a good way that she puts that too. There's the two different kinds of corruption. We don't really think of corruption in that sense, the way she described the left's corruption, but it is. That is a pretty sharp way. What should we do about these college campuses, like in terms of, since there's very few that the conservatives have any say in, Ben Sasse in Florida, and a few of the smaller liberal arts schools, but what posture should we take, maybe more than what should we do, in terms of, should we let these campuses cannibalize themselves, let the students cannibalize their fellow travelers in the administration and the professorate and vice versa? Or should we step in and say, this is the path to try to make Harvard again, whatever that means, really, and promote sort of campuses as free marketplaces of ideas, and you encourage presidents to be more stout-hearted when it comes to campus culture and etiquette and the indulgence of these kids. Should we just stand back and let it go up in flames, or should we do something?
Well, I have to say that as a conservative who just despises wokeness, I'm happy to let them sit back, let these campus administrators reap what they have sown. I don't think we should be too quick to rush in there and save them from the disaster they've created for themselves. But at some point, it has to stop. I think something really effective was just announced yesterday. A group of, I think, 12 federal judges signed a letter
Columbia.
saying, did you hear about that? They're
Yeah.
not going to take more clerks from Columbia. Not just Columbia Law School, but if you've gone to Columbia at all, they won't take you because they're worried about how you might have been indoctrinated. I think that's the sort of thing that's going to really put a damper on all this stuff. Is when these little brats get told that they can't have their fun on campus, trash in the place, and then go into their cushy jobs as federal law clerks or in big business. When these universities like Harvard, Yale, Columbia, and so on began suffering a price on their brand, that's what's really going to stop it.
Yeah, no, I mean those 13 federal, it was 13, I think, but federal judges, saying we're not taking any clerks or from our alma mater. These are Columbia. I think many of them were Columbia grads too. So this is sort of a policing your own schools kind of thing too. That's perhaps an easier challenge to issue than trying to deal with the Ivy League in total, or trying to deal with all of academia. But just get after your own school. Make sure that you're providing some stewardship for your school and organizing some alumni to do the same, right?
That's right. And I think that these universities, the Ivies, and some prominent state universities like UC Berkeley, UCLA, have benefited for far too long from their reputation. Well, now we on the right, I think, would do ourselves a lot of good and do these universities a lot of good to publicize the anti-Semitism, the violence, and all these terrible things going down on campus, and say to parents, is this really what you want your kid to be taught? And I think right now there's a great piece on the tablet.org, I think it is, a magazine, online magazine. Park McDougal did it, going into the financing behind these campus protests. A lot of it is coming from, surprise, George Soros, the Rockefeller Foundation, and a whole group of 501c3s tied to the Obama administration. This did not just come from nowhere.
No, the Pritzker family is also involved in that. We have talked about that, and so Trump a couple of weeks ago posted this video talking about what he plans to do with respect to these colleges and universities if he's elected, and it wasn't to do more student loan forgiveness, taxing the endowments, these in many cases, multi-billion-dollar endowments that the universities enjoy, start to hit them financially, just as perhaps some of their historical donors are hitting them financially. Maybe a 1-2 punch starts to be part of the wake-up call.
Yeah, a couple of years ago at the NatCon conference in Miami, J.D. Vance spoke. He was then running for Senate. He's now a senator. And the topic of his speech was the universities are the enemy. And he called out everything we're now seeing on campus. He said it was coming. And I really, really hope that Trump chooses Senator Vance as his running mate, because J.D. and I have been friends since 2016. He's the real deal. And I think he'll get in there and he'll push through taxing endowments. That's one of the things he said he would like to do. I think we could get some real muscle in a second Trump administration that wasn't always there in the first one.
Yeah, maybe J.D. Vance could announce, since he's a Yale guy, that he's not hiring any kids from Yale, or to start that ball rolling too. The piece that I referenced that you wrote over at EuropeanConservative.com also had an interesting review of something that Roger Scruton had said back in the late 60s during another period of campus and societal unrest. And it's reminiscent of this op-ed from Elie Wiesel's son, Elisha Wiesel, that was in USA Today a couple of days ago, and I can't stop talking about it because it was just so well done. And one of the things he said is, where are the academics to do what a university is supposed to do, which is to educate young people, I should say. All these people that are running around saying things that are just demonstrably false, in addition to vile, but just demonstrably false. So where are the historians? Where are the academics to provide intellectual leadership on campus to say something to instruct these young people on what they don't seem to understand? Now, many will just scream you down, obviously, because this is all temper tantrum politics. But I mean, in terms of the classroom where you have some dominion, and in terms of the public square where you have some opportunity, you don't see any intellectual leadership from academics. Very little.
You don't, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a couple of examples that say to me where we are in America on this. A friend of mine named Joshua Katz is one of the top classics professors in the country, and he was kicked out of Princeton. Right, exactly, because he stood up to some black racist on campus, and they drove him out. The administration stood behind him. Earlier, a guy named Nick Christakis and his wife Erica at Yale, Erica Christakis had sent out a memo, an email to Yale students saying that maybe it wasn't the university's role to tell them what Halloween costumes they could and couldn't wear. Well, there's huge campus protest erupted against her, saying you should be taking care of us. If you go on YouTube and look up Yale Halloween 2015, you'll see poor Nick Christakis on campus trying to defend his wife, trying to have a reasonable dialogue with the students, and the students are screaming at him. They're yelling, they're crying, they're pulling their clothes. They don't want dialogue at all. And do you know the Yale administration stood with the students there? This is what I'm talking about, that the university leadership is so craven and so given over to progressivism that when professors will stand up and take a stand for classical liberal values of free speech, they get shouted down, they get run out of the university. They end up like Peter Boghossian and having to withdraw from Portland State because he couldn't stand it anymore.
Rod Dreher, his Substack is at Rod Dreher, Dreher. Contributing editor and former senior editor for the American Conservative, author of New York Times bestsellers, including Live Not by Lies, The Benedict Option, and The Little Way of Ruthie Lemming. Rod, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary. Oil and natural gas keep going up as the Russia conflict escalates. Get in on the next major oil boom now and help the U.S. with your patriotic investment that can potentially pay you monthly income for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC-accredited investor and have at least $25,000 liquid now, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects and a huge tax savings for this year. If you invest in oil and natural gas, you're allowed to write off nearly 100% of your investment in the first year. Goldman Sachs is projecting oil to go up to $100 a barrel, and natural gas is the fuel of the future and trading at record prices. Call 800-287-6691. Encore Energy is a major investor and experienced operator in its core area of operations. Call now and learn how to deduct 100% of your investment and create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Call 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free, and within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost, and read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college, and will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
All right, you've heard about QC Kinetics. It's an alternative to going under the knife. You don't have to have surgery if you want to avoid that. And taking vacation time off to deal with your chronic pain. You don't have to do that because of QC Kinetics. Before you agree to that surgery or steroids or medication, check it out. It's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country have been doing. People like Robert. Robert's a retired Marine and business owner. He had debilitating shoulder pain and couldn't take time away from work to have surgery. Well, he heard about QC Kinetics, how elite athletes were using these treatments for joint pain. Now Robert feels much better thanks to his treatment at QC Kinetics. If you have chronic pain due to arthritis or an injury, check it out. Get a free consultation. It's free, and they have Saturday appointments available. The number to call is 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955. And remember, this is a time of the year you want to live your life. You want to be able to walk outside, play golf, play pickleball. And QC Kinetics has partnered with medical director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field with 20 years of clinical work, teaching, and publishing. So I'd love to talk next about your success story. So don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today. The number again is 312-809-5955.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:37, we'll be joined by Cornell Law Professor William Jacobson to talk about the Trump trials, in which Amy Jacobson will recount all the salacious details from Stormy Daniels' testimony that she despised.
Darn right I will. But now let's head into the newsroom. Crystal Blue is in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 59 degrees in Chicago at AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. An Illinois businessman is going to federal prison for evading nearly $500,000 in taxes. Joseph Cipolla Jr. of Bloomingdale was sentenced to 9 years behind bars for failing to file income tax returns from 2015 to 2020. Cipolla concealed his income by engaging in affirmative acts of tax evasion, including listing a relative's social security number on casino tax forms. He pleaded guilty last year to federal charges of tax evasion, wire fraud, and mail fraud. A federal jury is convicting a Champaign woman of conspiracy to distribute meth. Malia Turner will be sentenced in September after she was found guilty last Friday. Prosecutors say the government presented evidence that Turner had conspired with several others to obtain large quantities of methamphetamine ice from suppliers in Illinois and California and transported those drugs to central Illinois. The Illinois Senate is advancing a plan that would provide more educational opportunities for younger people serving time in the Department of Corrections. The Senate approved a measure that would require the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice to establish an emerging adult program for prisoners ages 18 to 21. The bill now moves to the House. News is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free to find accurate and vetted scholarships personalized for your student. That's scholarships.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Charlie Kirk says they did this to themselves.
For the past 20 or 30 years, university campuses have been teaching a very specific worldview, that the world is broken between oppressors and oppressed. This is a Marxist way of viewing the world. These universities are being enveloped by a beast of their own making.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
The Fiber and Spice is a very effective product. There's no question. A product that is very reliable. It's a very good product.
I swear by these. Probably the best products that I've ever used. I think they're just simply good for your body.
When I used to work, I used to do my art over the weekend all the time. And now I do yard work. I have been doing yard work. I can sweep my floor and make my place look nice. And I take Balance of Nature, and yeah, that feels really good.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you're an experienced homeowner on a fixed income, or you're paying your parents' housing and medical expenses, which you can't afford, then you need to call Team Hochberg for information about reverse mortgages. Fred, 82, married to Sharon, 78, owed $125,000 on a $400,000 home in Tinley Park. Fred and Sharon outlived their assets, had over $30,000 in credit card debt, and couldn't make it on their Social Security income, so they called Team Hochberg for a reverse mortgage consultation. We answered all their questions and helped them secure a reverse mortgage to pay off their mortgage, eliminate their debt, and save them over $1,500 a month. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of radio listeners like Fred and Sharon, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Call 855-563-2843 or visit our website, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 112461.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage, available at Navage.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Flooding in Orland Park at 143rd Street and Wolf Road. That road is closed. Veterans 355 northbound. That's slow from Roosevelt to St. Charles. The Kennedy inbound slammed an hour and 10 from O'Hare into downtown. Outbound Kennedy 46 to the airport. Eisenhower in an hour 6 from 390 to Congress. The outbound Ike. There's a crash at the Manheim exit ramp. Stevenson inbound still slow. An hour and 5 from the Veterans to DeSable Lakeshore Drive. Outbound Stevenson at 54. And the Dan Ryan inbound 36 minutes from 95th into downtown. Traffic is brought to you by Woodland Windows and Doors. For 55 years, Woodland has been transforming living spaces with beautiful windows and doors. Take advantage of their 10% off installation and purchase through June 30th. Book your appointment now. Visit woodlandwindows.com to get started today. Reporting from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle. Breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Stormy day in court for Trump yesterday in Manhattan. Here was part of what Harris Faulkner had to say about the salacious testimony of the former actress.
The texture of it about, well, he didn't have on a condom, but in my adult business life, that was always required. I mean, some of the details are beyond salacious. They are pornographic, quite frankly, and that's her specialty. So I would imagine she'd be good at that.
Zing. Well, they're another P word, too. They're prejudicial.
Uh-huh.
And
it's such drama. I mean, from her 2011 interview, it seemed like casual. Everything was fine. Yesterday, when she was up there, I mean, she described this intense encounter and said that the room was spinning in slow motion and blood left her hands and her feet. And she said that Trump did not particularly act threatening, but blocked her access to the door to the bedroom. She says she blacked out, Dan. I mean, come on. She's trying to make him look like a rapist, and it was all lies. And shame on her. And this happened, by the way, in 2006, almost 20 years ago.
Your Honor, I object. Is this a business records case, or is this some other sort of case that we haven't? I mean, since we're always being surprised with charges from the Manhattan DA, maybe this case has taken a turn, and this is about a different issue than it was originally scheduled to be.
The testimony was totally irrelevant to providing the underlying charge, and there's so much salacious details that were like conflated and dirty with illegal. You know, it was just a smear job. It was a smear campaign, and I don't even believe her. I mean, she's talking like she knew the medicine in his medicine cabinet at the hotel. What is she snooping around?
Senator Slingblade from Pennsylvania is having trouble following it as well. He was on with Brett Baer.
Well, I mean, like I'm a sitting senator, and I'm truthfully not even exactly sure what his trials are about, how many of them or whatever. I mean, I think it's, most voters in Pennsylvania agrees that it's a very stark choice as well. And so if I'm not following it that closely,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an issue we talked about earlier, that the people who are following it closely, I think, have a pretty good handle on the Star Chamber proceeding that this is in Manhattan. The people that aren't following it closely are going to listen to the verdict and probably make a snap judgment about Trump's guilt or innocence based on the jury's judgment as to his guilt or innocence. And that potentially could be politically problematic. That's I think, still a bit hazy. For more on the legal aspects of what's going on in Manhattan and elsewhere, pleased to be joined again by Professor William Jacobson, clinical professor of law and director of the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell Law School, founder of LegalInsurrection.com and president of the Legal Insurrection Foundation. Professor Jacobson, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, I mean, the Trump legal team tried for a mistrial per Stormy Daniels's prejudicial testimony, I would argue, and didn't get it. What was your read on how, since he's much in controversy, Judge Merchan handled the testimony that was offered and the objections that were leveled?
Well, I'll start with the caveat that we only know what's reported. This is not live streamed, so we have to rely on what people tell us, and that's always dangerous to do. But the reports seem pretty consistent that she was allowed to go into a fair amount of detail, fair amount about her own mental reaction to things, things that really have nothing to do with the case. I think that it did seem to suggest that perhaps he's some sort of, sexual perpetrator here when there was no indication it was non-consensual. So why are you getting into this stuff? Why are you allowing her to offer that testimony, which is saying to the jury, hey, convict this guy because he's a sexual predator, even though that has nothing to do with this case and he hasn't been charged with it against me. So I think it's highly prejudicial. If, Trump gets convicted, I think there will be a serious question for appeal why all of this sort of marginal testimony was allowed to come to evidence. Remember, this is a criminal trial. This is not a civil case. So it should be subject to fairly strict review as to what was allowed to come into evidence.
So, but you agree that the judge should have granted a mistrial, right? Or
I'd like to, I think without having sat through it, I'd be hesitant, but he certainly should have cut her off quickly. Whether it's a mistrial in the middle of the case, a mistrial at the end of the case, or something for appeal, I just don't have a clear thought right now on that, not having seen it. But I think that it was certainly problematic.
Well, what about, from the reporters that were in the room and in the overflow room, they said that the judge seemed very bothered by her testimony, which the jury saw that. So how is that going to affect them, do you think?
Yeah, we don't know. That's one of the things, this is Manhattan, so you have to assume there are at least some Trump haters on that jury who didn't disclose it during their, voir dire. So I don't know. I think what the prosecution is trying to do is to convict Trump of being Trump, and then, hey, we've got these other charges. We've actually got these criminal charges we're bringing, but it's Trump, and you've heard what a bad guy he is, and you've heard how he treated Stormy Daniels. None of that has to do with whether the business records were falsified. I guess you could make the argument that at least some evidence that they did have a relationship needed to come in because the charges, he was trying to cover that up. But I'm not even sure that's true. I'm not even sure you needed to prove that.
You're convict Trump for being Trump and he's a bad guy. That's exactly what they're doing. And this is why Trump, I was arguing earlier on the show, this is why Trump and his attorneys need to stay away from the vilification of Stormy Daniels and return the jury's attention to the matter at hand, because you're not going to win the vilification game, not in that courtroom and not with that jury pool, more than likely. I had one question that was brought up by a listener when we discussed this a bit earlier, and I gave my opinion, but yours is a more informed one, so I want to put it to you. In the event that it was a hung jury, what is the likelihood that Bragg, if he wanted to, then it would be a political calculation in terms of deciding whether or not to retry him, but if he wanted to retry Trump, what is the likelihood he could turn it around before November?
I think very slim. I mean, they'd have to go through the jury selection process. But if the judge wants to fast track it, you're already prepared for trial. Let's start up next week. I mean, that's in theory possible.
Okay, yeah.
It would be, unlikely, but it's possible.
Possible. I wanted to get your take on something that Mike Davis said the other day. Davis, a former law clerk for Neil Gorsuch and now heads up this Article 3 project organization. He said that he argued that Jim Jordan and the House Weaponization Committee and House Judiciary Committee, the combination of the two, should be right now subpoenaing officials at the Department of Justice, the White House, the Manhattan DA's office, the Fulton County, Jack Smith, everybody involved in the various Trump criminal trials, because he believes there is the possibility of a criminal conspiracy afoot to deprive Trump of his rights under federal statutory law, and there'll be all sorts of resistance and suggestions of executive privilege and so on and so forth. Easy to anticipate, but you should what House Republicans should be doing right now, through the power they have with those committees, is trying to get as many people on the record, as much down in writing, as much information uncovered as possible, because we know of these meetings and conversations and personnel moves that have happened in these various trials.
Well, if they're able to actually gather that, I'm not convinced the Republicans in Congress are capable of doing anything, to tell you the truth. Look at how efficient and effective the Democrats are when they have a House committee investigation. Republicans flounder. Democrats tell them to pound sand on producing records, and we never hear of it again. Whereas if, where it's a Republican House committee, a Democrat House committee and a Republican refuses records, all of a sudden the person gets prosecuted. So I think good idea. They need to preserve records. They need to do those sort of things before things disappear. But I'm not convinced Republicans in the House have the ability to really do anything.
Do you think it was a good day for Trump yesterday because the criminal classified documents case has been postponed indefinitely?
Yeah, that's the judge scheduled motion hearings into July and said that she was not going to set a new date because there's too many things in flux right now. And so it's the chance of it happening before the election, is slim to none. I won't say none. Anything could happen, but extremely slim that if you're still arguing motions in July, that you're going to have a major criminal trial before November. And I can't imagine that judge, maybe one of the state court judges would do it, but I can't imagine that judge is going to schedule a trial, for 4 weeks before the election,
We haven't talked about your school much with respect to all of the encampments and ugliness on college campuses throughout the Ivy League and across the country, but the Ivy League has been a particular focus thanks to Columbia. Although Harvard has disgraced itself again. What's going on at Cornell?
Well, we do have an encampment. It's been there for a while. I'm not sure how many weeks. It's fairly small. I think they generally have 30 to 50 people there. When they make a call for the crowds to come out, they get a couple of hundred. The administration has suspended 6 students who were involved and has said that they're going to be suspending more, and has referred staff, and they didn't say faculty, they said staff, for HR, has filed HR referrals for some staff members involved. The administration at Cornell, I think, is hoping it will go away. I'm not convinced it will go away. A lot of the people there are graduate students. Graduate student community at Cornell is much more radicalized than the undergrad community, and those grad students are there year-round. They don't leave at the end of the semester. They're PhD students, et cetera. So I'm not sure it's going to go away, but Cornell has not wanted to really get tough with them. I think that it hasn't gotten out of hand the way it has at GW and Columbia. I think the administration's hand would be forced if there was much more aggressive student action at these encampments. As of now, they're just, chanting the usual slogans. There's no solution. There's only one solution, Intifada Revolution. That video circulated not too long ago. But as long as they're just saying offensive things and not, physically harassing people and not physically blocking buildings and taking over buildings, I think the administration is just hoping it goes away. Whether that works or not remains to be seen.
Well, won't they be graduating soon?
Well, not the graduate students.
Oh, that's true. They'll be out.
Yeah, the grad students are there forever. 7 years.
Yeah.
They never leave.
Yeah, when they turn pro. With the Equal Opportunity Project work that you do, are you taking notice of these negotiations that are occurring in places like Northwestern and University of Chicago, where, for example, at Northwestern, the part of the negotiation for the removal of the encampment was dedicating a certain number of scholarships to Palestinian students and talking about and other demands and considerations have been made for X number of Palestinian professors or some other university resources devoted to Palestinians specifically. Anything that you're hearing that runs afoul of federal law?
Yeah, in fact, Equal Protection Project filed a civil rights complaint with the Department of Education over Northwestern's deal. We filed it 2 days after it was announced, and that is national origin discrimination. It's shared ancestry discrimination, and we think we've got a good claim there. And hopefully the Department of Education will do something, but you can't announce a scholarship as a university that receives federal funding that is reserved for certain ethnicities and certain national origins. And so we think that does run afoul, and we've challenged that. We also challenged, as part of that, the reservation of housing for what they call the MENA, Middle East, North Africa / Muslim students, that also violates the statute, because that was part of the deal, that they're going to reserve certain scholarships and certain it was, I think, a free ride scholarship, actually, 4-year tuition free for 7 Palestinian students. And then there was, they were going to create temporary and ultimately permanent housing for MENA / Muslim students. And so that's, segregationist. It violates the law. Probably violates a lot of state laws also, but we filed with the federal Department of Education because Northwestern gets federal funds. So, yeah, that's really problematic legally. It's even more problematic that we have an administration at Northwestern and elsewhere which gives in to hostage takers. And what they took hostage was a part of campus. And so we're negotiating and giving in to hostage takers. That's the bigger problem. I mean, the legal problem is significant. Northwestern should be sanctioned because of this, but really it's just going to encourage more of these things. And it's happened not just at Northwestern. Many places the administrations are shaking in their boots at these stupid encampments and giving in to the demands, or at least some of the demands.
Professor William Jacobson, clinical professor of law and director of the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell Law, founder of LegalInsurrection.com and president of the Legal Insurrection Foundation, as well as the Equal Opportunity Project we were just discussing. Professor Jacobson, thanks as always.
Great. Take care.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap, or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of UStore It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of UStore It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax.
We started our company 10 years ago in an effort to help our fellow Christians experiencing tax issues resolve their matters by taking a simple three-step approach.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys that specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results. We're also a small firm who will treat you like family, not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
Proverbs 15:22 says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, at 8:38, we've got the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent.
Oh, my God. Do you think he'll remember me, or is he going to embarrass me like Carrie Lake embarrassed me?
Remember you from what?
I used to work at JBK. He was over at our station all the time in Detroit.
Oh.
He went bow hunting, like he had a deer out, a fake deer. And
You went bow hunting with him?
Well, in the studio. I mean, it was a fake deer. And...
No, we'll find out at 8:38 if he remembers you.
All right, today, plenty of sunshine. It's going to be warm, a high near 70 degrees. And then tomorrow, it's showers. It's 8 o'clock again.
It's happened again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Police clashed with pro-Palestinian protesters.
Why are you in riot gear?
That was early this morning in D.C., where Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is near George Washington University.
All is calm here outside the encampment, but a far different story at 3:30 when the decision was made to clear the encampment. Police had to use OC spray or pepper spray. In fact, our cameraman Ed got some of that. He was downwind of that.
There were 35 arrests. Hoping to stop the war being protested, CIA Director William Burns is in Israel and just met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's trying to broker ceasefire talks. The U.S. has warned Israel against going after Hamas militants in Rafah, an area of Gaza where Palestinian civilians have been urged to flee. That's prompted a delay in an American shipment of bombs to Israel.
As a matter of course, the administration won't comment on specific sales and transfers of weapons, National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says, but tells reporters,
our commitment to Israel's security remains ironclad.
Reports say shipments of precision-guided munitions have been delayed at least 2 weeks.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. There's news on 2 Trump criminal trials. The one in the federal classified documents case is on hold indefinitely as both sides keep battling over legal issues. In New York, it's an off day at the former president's trial where Stormy Daniels' testimony got steamy, detailing an alleged sexual encounter he paid her to be quiet about before the 2016 election.
That's an affair that former President Trump denies. Daniels explained in graphic detail, and Trump's lawyers claim that the jury heard testimony that was unnecessary and unrelated to the charges that Trump faces in this case, so they asked for a mistrial. Judge Juan Merchan denied that request, but agreed that Daniels' testimony went a bit too far.
Fox's Nate Foy. The president's charged with falsifying records. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 61 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. A new lawsuit claims juvenile detainees were sexually abused at youth centers across Illinois for more than 2 decades. Nearly 100 people have joined a suit filed in the Illinois Court of Claims that accuses this state of allowing sexual abuse to thrive at juvenile facilities. The alleged abuse took place between 1996 and 2017. Some of the plaintiffs independently accused the same staffers of being abusers. Embattled South Suburban Dolton Mayor Tiffany Haynard is vetoing action by trustees to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate Haynard and village finances. During a village board meeting on Monday, Haynard said the trustees overstepped their authority by hiring Lightfoot. The meeting was the first held since federal investigators served separate subpoenas at Village Hall. Some residents have called for Haynard to step down. The city of Chicago is settling a lawsuit for $5.8 million that claims African-American employees of the Department of Water Management were subject to racist and sexist slurs from managers. There were also claims of employees being shorted overtime and promotions. The deal was reached Monday morning during a status hearing that led federal U.S. District Judge Matthew Kennelly to vacate the June 5th trial date. The agreement has not been finalized and would still need to be approved by Chicago City Council. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is heading down to Springfield today to lobby state lawmakers. The mayor says he'll be requesting a host of things on behalf of the people of Chicago, including more school funding.
It's been very clear that I've been pushing for that the families of Chicago are owed $1 billion from the state of Illinois in order to build a better, stronger, safer city, but particularly investing in our public school system. Now, that is something that we all can get behind.
Johnson could also discuss legislation that would prevent the Chicago School Board from closing schools or making changes to selective enrollment campuses until an elected board is fully seated in 2027. News is a service of Quick Delivery Service. Make Quick Delivery Service your personal ground crew, anytime, anywhere, any place. When you need to move your shipment or freight, Quick Delivery will get it there. Get a quote in advance and eliminate any surprises at quickdelivery.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes, but time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Reddit shares are up 14%. Its first earnings report as a public company was dramatically better than expected. The social network forum says its weekly active users rose 40%. Toyota is reporting a dramatically better quarter, helped by demand for hybrid vehicles, and the weaker yen makes its cars more affordable in other countries. It is buying back stock, though Toyota says it is seeing higher costs and sees a lower profit this year. The Wall Street Journal says companies are pushing back at the costs of running electric vehicles. Executives in the trucking industry tell the Journal battery electric rigs can't travel as far as diesel rigs, require several hours to recharge, and it can take years to install on-site charging facilities. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher hasn't seen anything like what we're seeing.
Colleges all over America are under siege by people who hate Israel and the Jews. And a whole bunch of faculty members are supporting it. It's wild what we're witnessing right now in this country. It's off the charts wild.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. My father was a union iron worker, just like his father, but while he inherited his father's skill, he did not inherit his tolerance for taking orders from union bosses. He needed a change, something that was his, something where he could call the shots. So he started a janitorial company. His company cleaned grocery stores and airplane hangars, dentist office and construction sites, hardware stores and restaurants. As his business expanded, so did the complexity of managing it, especially the taxes. Preparing tax returns requires records, and Dad just never got accustomed to keeping good records. That was a mistake. It cost him his business. Initially, I followed my father and grandfather and became a union iron worker, third generation. I'm very proud of that legacy. Now I'm a tax attorney. I help business owners protect what they've built. Fighting back against the IRS is personal to me. If you own a business and have tax troubles, fight back. Go to fightbacknow.com. That's fightbacknow.com, or call 312-664-6649. Become a freedom fighter today.
Our communities deserve to have their tax dollars spent efficiently. All over Chicagoland, there is an increased need for vital projects like wetland improvements, enhancing water quality, or stormwater mitigation to protect homes against devastating floods. Too often, public officials find themselves at the mercy of outside advisors when planning, budgeting, and building these projects. And let's face it, they rarely meet deadlines or budgets, leaving our communities vulnerable. There's a better way forward. Control Point Engineering. At Control Point Engineering, we're more than just civil engineers. We're champions of quality and efficiency with over 40 years of hands-on experience. Teaming up with Earthworks Land Development, we're breaking down barriers and streamlining processes. Say goodbye to disjointed partnerships and hello to seamless collaboration. From conceptualization to construction, Control Point Engineering delivers everything you need in one unified package, saving you time and money. Visit ControlPointLLC.com today to learn about our successful projects all across Chicagoland. Again, that's ControlPointLLC.com.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible, real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by going to birchgold.com/protect. That's birchgold.com/protect. Take a stand for your financial future. Go to birchgold.com/protect right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
A crash in Western Springs on Ogden at Wolf Edens, inbound 26 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. The Kennedy Inn at 54 from O'Hare into downtown. You've got that left lane closed from Lawrence to Montrose with road work. Kennedy outbound 30 downtown out to the airport. On the Eisenhower, still running an hour inbound from 390 to Congress. Stevenson Inn at 53 from 355 to DeSable Lakeshore Drive. The Dan Ryan Inn, that's slow. 34 minutes from 95th into downtown. And flooding in Orland Park at 143rd between Wolf and Creek Crossing. Traffic is a service of scholarships.com. Imagine the news that your college student doesn't have years and years of school debt. It's avoidable when you join scholarships.com for free. To find accurate and vetted scholarship personalized for your student, that's scholarships.com. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle, breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The Boy Scouts of America are no more. Oh, pretty soon, boys are going to be no more, except girls pretending to be them.
Exactly.
The Boy Scouts of America is changing its name.
They're going in a different direction, Dan.
Yeah, they are. Robert Crone, who's the CEO of the 114-year-old organization, made the announcement offering this explanation.
Sends this really strong message to everyone in America that they can come to this program, they can bring their authentic self, they can be who they are, right, and they will be welcomed here. The argument that I make with the people that say, well, I always like Boy Scouts of America or BSA, why do we have to change? Go, membership is at historic lows, right? Part of my job is to reduce all the barriers I possibly can for people to accept us as an organization and to join.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. That's the play. Membership's at a historic low, so we need to be more inclusive. I'm wondering if the Pinewood Derby will be replaced by a father and son drag pageant, for example.
Well, that's a possibility. After 114 years of being known as the Boy Scouts, Scouts of America.
I cannot wait, Scouting America, cannot wait to see the new merit badges. Cannot wait.
What do you think they're going to look like? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer lines, 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. My nephew was an Eagle Scout, and that's a great honor. I mean,
used to be.
It used to. Well, they're still going to keep that scat. I mean, you can still say you're an Eagle Scout, because.
Well, I'm saying from this point forward, it will not be. Those who became Eagle Scouts in the old organization, yes, that is an honor. That's a serious accomplishment. Going forward, what you just heard. But what are the merit badges? I mean, seriously, are they going to change the merit badges? Are they going to change the progression, all the way up to Eagle Scout? Are they going to rename those levels of scouting? I don't want anybody to feel offended or constrained in any way from being their authentic self, as Roger Crone said. I mean, look, what did he just say? He just basically said, we're another LGBTQ2IA plus organization. I mean, it might as well be Scouting America, brought to you by the Lambda Legal Foundation. Corey and Woodlawn.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Almost everything great about America is leaving. And it's because of these weak men. And weak men are always overtaken by strong men. Our country is being invaded, and we think it's funny. We think it's something to be celebrated, and it's just not. Thanks, guys.
Very good, Corey. Yeah.
Were you ever in Boy Scouts? Or?
I was in Boy Scouts. I think I made it to Weeblo, and then I blew out.
And then you checked out.
I couldn't
hang with
continue.
the fellas anymore.
But no, I wasn't so I did the Pinewood Derby. I did the rocket thing. I think did I win the Pinewood Derby? I mean, probably my
Just
dad
say
will.
You did.
My dad will deserve the credit if I did.
Do we need to call Larry right now?
I did the scouting thing for a bit, but not past I think I was out in 7th grade maybe. Something. I was there for a few years, 2 or 3 years, something like that. Maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. The memory's hazy when you get to this advanced stage. But yeah, I did. But the point, Roger Crone and all these. By the way, all the the previous leadership of the Boy Scouts that capitulated all along the way. Why is membership so low? Why is membership at all-time low? Roger, explain it to me. You say, I believe it is. I know the Boy Scouts of America were essentially insolvent. Why? Is it the same reason that the Catholic Church saw historic declines in its parishionership, and some dioceses went BK? Same reason? And so the response to the self-inflicted wounds of allowing predators, let's call them what they are, into the ranks of scoutmasters because, hey, you got to be inclusive. The response to that, and then destroying the organization from within and reducing its membership to historic lows, the response to that is make it bigger. Go bigger. Not inclusive enough. Right. So the Boy Scouts of America, Boy Scouts were meaningless. And the Girl Scouts have sort of went down that way too when they started selling cookies to pay for, abortions, send money to Planned Parenthood. I mean, Corey from Woodlawn's right. Everything that's great about America, if you don't think it's great, let me put it a different way. Everything that represented the values upon which this country was founded, this grand experiment that the left is always so eager to protect, save our democracy. It's saying save anything. Conservatives conserve. The left destroys. And that's what they've done. And right, Corey is exactly right. And weak men sit idly by and allow, even participate in the destruction of organizations that mean a lot to them. I watch friends at the Boy Scouts do it. And I argued with them. Board members, national board members I'm talking about. But that's what's happened. This is yet another case study in Robert Conquest's third law of politics. If an organization is not explicitly conservative, over time it will succumb to the left.
Somebody texted it, Dan and Amy, will the scout oath change? The on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the scout law.
Yeah, it's going to be replaced by the Sparkle Creed that they use up at that Lutheran church in Minnesota. JP, Northwest Indiana.
Hey, I was involved in scouting for several years. I made it to Life Scout, which is just below Eagle Scout. Unfortunately, I missed the mark on that. And I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but that's one of them. And even as an adult, my kids, scouting wasn't their thing, and we didn't do it with them. But I remained active in the organization as a merit badge counselor for things I was qualified for. And I will tell you this, after this announcement, I am not doing anything to help that organization. It has lost its identity, and it's a shame because at one point in time, it was a great organization that really helped turn boys into young men into good men. So thank you.
Well said, JP. Thanks.
John Anthony just texted in. He said, as a former scout, it's disgusting.
Did John Anthony make it past Weeblo?
I don't know.
Did he get further than me?
Weeblo is you speak of. Weeblo.
I may be making it up. I can't remember.
What are you? I was at Indian Princesses, and that sounds like something we have, the Weeblo tribe.
Boy Scouts very connected to the land.
We were too. We went hunting and fishing. Well, not hunting.
I know you went hunting with Ted Nugent in a news studio in Detroit.
That's at 8:35. No, we would go fishing and camping and set up tents, and then the wicked weirdo head would be passed around. Like while you were sleeping, somebody would slip the wicked weirdo into your cabin, and it was fun. But they don't have Indian Princesses because you can't even say sit Indian style anymore. It's offensive.
Yeah, well, now the wicked weirdo heads are in charge of all these organizations. Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I couldn't help but think when he said what he said about being more inclusive, he thinks membership is low now. He just made it non-existent. And it won't be long before that organization is long gone.
Thanks for the call, Rick. Mary in Inverness.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just going to say that the Boy Scouts of America is going the way of NPR. Like,
what you're doing isn't working and it's driving people away. So let's double down.
Exactly. Yep. Thanks for the call, Mary. Richard, Blue Island.
Yeah, hi, Dan and Amy. How about another new name for Boy Scouts of America? Let's call it Boy Skirts of America.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, they rebranded it once, so they can do it again. Sure. Tony, Downers Grove.
Well, Dan, you nailed it. I'll take sex molesters for 20, Alex. Now, instead of addressing the problem from within, which you described, they're just going to open it up as if the problem will not exist any longer. So they have a bigger pool now, as you suggested. So I think on their website, they might want to add, we will do our best to limit child molestation as much as possible. Come and join.
Right. Thanks for the call, Tony. Jordan, Antioch.
Good morning. Like I told the screener, my oldest son was involved in Cub Scouts and in Boy Scouts, and then dropped out because he started getting into sports, and it was too much for him. But you know, this started a long time ago. This started long before they allowed gays, men, homosexual men to be counselors. This started when men stopped being men and taking active roles in making their sons into men. When you went to like the jamborees and stuff, and you could count how many women, how many moms were den leaders and pack leaders because the dads, and these were married women, because the dads wouldn't step up and do it because it wasn't their thing. So I blame the men first off in these kids' lives for not being men and introducing them into something that would grow them into responsible men. But then it developed into that where you allowed the tolerance, not tolerance, but, you know, you have no men standing up for their kids. So now you have predators that are going to be pack leaders. And then you have the trans movement that's allowed because now we have to be tolerant. And you allowed that into the leadership of the Boy Scouts. And it goes to show just how popular, quote unquote popular, all the leftist movements are, because everything that they get into dies. Because people can only hold their nose for so long before they just walk away. And that's what's happening here. But first off, like you said, Dan, there is a lack of men and lack of leadership in young men's lives in this country right now, and it needs to change. Thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. Completely agree about for women den leaders. Should have never happened. Men.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's a male organization.
I know, just like Indian Princess. It's fathers and their daughters. No moms are involved.
Yeah.
Strict
Fine.
rule, and that's good because that's special time that you have that you would never. Because we spend a lot of time with our moms, and not.
Well, those organizations have have a specific purpose.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not cutting mom out of the kid's life. I mean, everybody gets so on their heel, but now they do because everyone, men and women alike, the majority are sentimental barbarians. So all they know is everything has to be inclusive and everybody has to be included. And no, this is for men to mentor their sons, or if a young man doesn't have a dad, a family friend or whatever, male, to mentor a young man to become a man, as you heard the caller saying, to grow into a good young person. Yeah. and so yeah, that's we I mean, I can't believe you have to say these things, but you do. This is how far afield we are. Oh, do dads matter? Because essentially that's a position that our culture has taken, that dads don't really matter.
And then look what happens.
Right, of course. No consequences to that.
Join a gang. Find acceptance and love.
Barbara at Fort Myers. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Good morning.
Morning. You're on, Barbara. Go ahead.
Okay. I've got 3 sons, and all 3 of them were Eagle Scouts.
Oh, good. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment.
It is, and that was many years ago. And my husband, I mean, they had a lot of friends that were Eagle Scouts, and my husband said if they wanted to, have a group or whatever, he would be more than happy to have them to the house and to let them have a little Eagle Scout meeting at our house. So
Thank-
it was great.
It was. Thank you for the call, Barbara. Past tense. Rob in Downers Grove.
Good morning. I'm the proud father of 2 Eagle Scouts and relatively recent Eagle Scouts. And I've seen this train coming for about 4 or 5 years when they allowed girls into Boy Scouting. And the story I think of when this happened, and I've taken my sons to summer camp and boys' summer camp and all that stuff through Scouting. And you're right, one of the other callers, you watch them grow as young men. And you could participate in that, and it's been incredible. In some of the activities they do, one of them was canoe races. And the boys are there, and they're painting each other's faces and taking off their shirts and showing their muscles and doing all this. And I look over on the side of the lake, and these girls are sitting there. First year they were there. And they're braiding each other's hair. And I was like, oh, my gosh, this is the end of Scouting right there. And this is 5 years
You could mark the day on the calendar to when Boy Scouts was coming to an end. Yeah. Thanks for the call.
Oh, this is so cute.
Thanks,
We're getting
Rob.
like Bob, our favorite engineer from Buffalo Grove. He sent me a picture of him back in the day in the 50s when he was wearing a Boy Scouts uniform and he was in the local paper.
What?
And John
what,
Anthony.
The local paper for what? What did he commit a crime?
No, they were just having a celebration. Somebody was playing the piano.
Oh, I see.
It was Two-Ton Baker. You remember him?
Two-Ton Baker was the musical act?
Whips out a song to the delight of 3 Cub Scouts at blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, now whipping out something at a Boy Scout meeting has a different connotation.
I don't know. He's
Bob
a big dude, too.
Bob and Wilmette.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. A few quick things. And for that last caller's comment, Dan, it's no surprise that you bailed out when you reached that subset of Boy Scouts entitled We Blow. I can certainly understand that move on your part.
Yeah. That was uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And and what's with a neckerchief? Anyways, I was a scout for some time, and it was good back then. Also, you guys were talking earlier in the show before I went for my run on the Trump trial and the salient details, and Amy really got into it. It sounded like she was auditioning to write paperbacks like Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
But
she and I have a lot of
side hustle.
Yeah.
Salient Details is the name of my Captain and Tennille cover band, just FYI.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. You killed with
Muskrat Sally.
Muskrat Love.
Muskrat Love, yeah. Bob, you said you run. Just a heads up. A woman was robbed in Indian Hill at gunpoint in Wilmette.
I know. It's big news. Everybody's clutching their pearls.
Yeah. Well, heavens.
Just one last thing. I'm still launching my Substack page. Oh well, Orwell. 40 years post 1984. The time has ever been more right to poke fun at the left. Give it a gander. Dan, I'm going to text you email you some stuff. FYI.
All right, great. All right, thanks, Bob.
Thanks.
Yeah, boy, Bob had a lot of material today. It's good. Kevin, Austin, Texas.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. My daughters, I had them go through a thing down here in Texas called American Heritage Girls, which was an alternative to Girl Scouts because I couldn't stand that. And this is an opportunity. So for evil to triumph, good men have to do nothing. Start a different organization that goes back to the principles of what the Boy Scouts were about a boy becoming a man, and building character and skills for life. So I think that's what good men have to do. And I still have some great memories with friends of scouting growing up. I remember, one time it was a thunderstorm, and we were underneath the tent, and in the middle of the night I fell asleep, so I woke up to a thunderstorm coming down. It was miserable, but it was one of the funniest things in the world at the time, and we still laugh about it. And it bonds just not the boys that go through it with their fathers and become a man, but you get great friendships and great stories to talk about. So we got to bring that back.
There's an alternative organization to Boy Scouts too, isn't there? What's the name of it? I'm blanking on it, but there is one. And
Trail Life or something like that.
It's something. Yeah, you're in the ballpark. We're gonna have to look that up, get that, because want to mention them, and just so long as check them out to make sure that they haven't gone the way of Scouting America. But my sense is they hadn't. I got to get the name of that group. But thanks for the reminder. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, and one thing I'm worried about: are there even going to be children to do this? Because we're not even repopulating ourselves right now. What's the replacement rate? Like 1.5. People aren't getting married.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
He is one of the headliners for the Patriot Fest, May 18th in Aurora. He is the Motor City Madman. He is Ted Nugent. And he joins us at 8:38 to see if he remembers Amy.
Thank you. But now let's head into the newsroom. Crystal Ball. Or Crystal Blue in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 62 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high near 73. The United States Postal Service is moving forward with plans to consolidate the processing and distribution center in Springfield. As a result, all outgoing mail processing operations that were done in Springfield will be moved to St. Louis. The USPS says the change will help optimize their services in central Illinois. Illinois is experiencing an increase in international visitors. The Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity says the state welcomed more than 2 million international visitors in 2023. As a result, international visitors injected nearly $2.7 billion into Illinois' economy in 2023, representing a 47% increase in spending compared to the previous year. A Northwest suburban McHenry man is accused of robbing a local bank and leaving his 9-month-old son at home alone while he did it. Peter Silva has been charged with aggravated robbery, theft over $500, and child abandonment. Police say the defendant was arrested Monday morning near the Huntington Bank branch that he attempted to hold up. The child was eventually released from DCFS to his mother. News is a service of Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of Properties, Christie's International Real Estate, experts in the Northwest suburbs and Chicago. With over $800 million in sales, you'll get the most value for your home. Call 708-828-0000. Again, 708-828-0000. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka isn't sure this looks good for the Democrats.
The stuff we're seeing on the campuses, it's not politically good for the Democrats. Clearly the Democrats can't control it. Have they just lost any kind of command and control over their base?
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Spring cleaning is here. Time to brighten up those dirty rugs and carpeting. Dogs, cats, food, drinks. They can really make a mess. Look down. Are you happy how your carpets and rugs look? Let Executive Green Carpet Cleaning show you how clean really looks. Executive Green Carpet Cleaning. They're local, family-owned, and take pride in customer satisfaction, positive reviews, referrals, and working with AM 560 listeners. Right now, if you mention AM 560, you'll receive 15% off all cleaning services.
Hi, this is Kelly from Executive Green Carpet Cleaning. As a proud supporter of AM 560, allow my family the invitation into your home or business to show you what clean really looks like. Carpets, area rugs, upholstery, tile and grout, and wood floor cleaning. We do it all.
Call or text Kelly today to schedule a free quote. 630-990-8600. Mention AM 560 to receive 15% off. Call or text 630-990-8600 or schedule online at executivegreencarpetcleaning.com. executivegreencarpetcleaning.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't. Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne-Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne-Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
In Waukegan, a collision on Glen Flora at Burnwick, crash in Crystal Lake at Golf Course Road at Village. Orland Park, flooding at 143rd at Wolf. That has the roadway blocked. Still slow on the Kennedy inbound downtown to O'Hare. It's running an hour and 10 minutes. Road work takes out that left lane between Lawrence and Montrose. Kennedy outbound 55 to the airport. In the Eisenhower, it's running an hour 10. That's either direction between 390 and Congress on the Dan Ryan end. 36 minutes. The outbound side of the Ryan is 30. Traffic is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to spring into deals at Lowe's. Get 3 19.3-ounce vegetable and herbs Bonnie plants for $10. Lowe's knows spring. Offers valid through May 15th. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii while supplies last. Reporting today from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Joanne Jeanette.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Looks like a very warm day. High today 79. Cloudy shower and thunderstorm tonight, low 52. Rain and drizzle, breezy day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds on Friday and the high Friday 64. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're going to get to the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent, in just a second. I just wanted to follow up on our conversation about the Boy Scouts. Got a couple of messages in. George in Will County was an Eagle Scout. He made mention, it took me 9 years to become an Eagle Scout. Now I'm hearing you can get it in 3 to 5. What? Yeah, everything gets dumbed down and LGBTQ'd up, doesn't it? But he said alternatives to Boy Scouts, or Scouting America now that they've completely capitulated, Trail Life and Pathfinders are, and we also got another suggestion, one I hadn't heard of before, but I looked them up. It looks like it's right. Looks like it's a good recommendation. Royal Rangers doesn't sound right, but anyway, those are some alternatives if you've got a young man of that age, and Scouting America no longer holds appeal for you for all the obvious reasons that we were discussing. All right, a full 180 away from what Scouting America is doing to what's happening in Aurora on May 18th. Patriots Fest, we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. We talked to some of the artists that are performing already, Matt Oakley, Creed Fisher, Outlaw Country. I like that guy. I liked his music, too. And that is at the Piazza in Aurora, May 18th. Tickets are available at patriotsfest.com, patriotsfest.com. And remember, all these acts, and it's an eclectic group, are coming together to raise money, not make money, raise money for veterans organizations. Phil Oakley was on talking about the great work of the organizations they're supporting, the great work those organizations do to support our military men and women. So it's 100% of the proceeds going to serve America's underserved veterans. And, of course, one of the headliners is our next guest. He is Ted Nugent. Needs no introduction. Ted Nugent, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, Amy, thank you very much. God bless you. Happy springtime turkey season to everybody in the Windy City and beyond.
Turkey season, everything is through the lens of hunting. I get it.
Yes, it's all. I'm so organic. I'm the ultimate organic radio guest.
You really are. You know what? And it's interesting you say that, because the last time I saw you in person was when you and your lovely wife did your podcast from Seed to Table in Naples a couple of years ago. You remember that?
Was that fun or what? How about
that was
my
awesome.
wife, Jermaine Nugent? Come on, give it to her, man. He's the greatest.
It was awesome. And you know what was cool about that? Down here in Southwest Florida, it was like you had, guys like me in golf shirts, and you had the guys that came in motorcycle. I mean, the crowd was so eclectic. It was a real tribute to your music, your popularity. But anyway, tell us about your interest. I mean, I sort of know, but I want to give you the forum. Your interest in headlining this Patriots Fest.
Well, I'm 75 years clean and sober, so my radar has picked up on some accurate information and evidence, and I've come to the conclusion by the time I was about 15 that freedom is not free, and we like to pay back and give back and honor and revere and respect and say thank you to the heroes of the U.S. military. I get to hang out with them every day. We're doing a Wounded Warrior event here in Waco, Texas, today and tomorrow. I'm contacted by these heroes of the Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Beret, Delta Force. Dan, Amy, I get to hang out and train with these heroes every day, so I understand that when a guy comes up to the campfire in a wheelchair that he gave his legs for his oath to the Constitution. So I learned way back when I started getting educated on the not-so-mean streets of America after graduating from the anti-education system of America, that these really dearly for my American dream. So everybody of conscience gives back. And that, by the way, that's just not the people performing in Aurora, but all the people associated with them, their band, their crew, their families, their friends, co-workers, people at church and school. So we're saying thank you to the military heroes in every way we can, every time we can.
You said that you realized at 15 that you were, patriotic and that you want to help out others. What happened, or what was your aha moment?
I graduated from St. Viator High School in Arlington Heights. I went there for 2 years after coming from Detroit. And the Vietnam veterans started contacting me because they'd hear my radio interviews with the Amboy Dukes celebrating the Second Amendment, the weekends with my dad and family at the shooting range, the discipline, the marksmanship, martial arts of archery, the hunting lifestyle. And so the heroes not only of Vietnam, but heroes from World War II would track me down through my booking agency, and they just want to talk to me because they'd never heard a rock and roll interview talking about conservation, being clean and sober, and aim small, miss small, marksmanship fun. So it was a unique relationship I had with them, and that has expanded and just grown over the years, where I'm involved with all the military charities, and I'm so moved, stimulated, honored, inspired by these heroes. They're special people. They're not just warriors and heroes. They're really smart. They're really down to earth. They celebrate God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights, law and order. All that radical stuff. That's what we'll be celebrating at the Patriot Fest in Aurora.
Well, that's how upside down things are, right? Those are the outlier views. That is what's considered subversive now: law and order, patriotism, service.
Isn't that strange? Well, Dan and Amy, I'd like to mention that I will always be a Boy Scout, and here it's just in. Men can't get pregnant. How about that?
No. Birthing people?
How about that?
Now, Ted, Amy's a little shy, so I'm going to have to prompt her here. But she worked on TV news in Detroit, and she had some interactions with you, and she'd like to walk down memory lane and see if you remember. Go ahead,
Well,
Amy.
Amy can tell you
Don't
how
be
much
shy.
fun I am in person, right, Amy?
Pardon?
You can share how much fun I am in person,
Oh,
right?
you are. You were great because Bill Bonds was anchoring the show, and you got there early, and I was a nightside reporter at WJBK, Fox 2, Chicago.
Sure, I
mean
remember it
Chicago,
well.
Detroit. And you remember Bill. And you
Sure,
were
absolutely.
bow hunting. You had a fake deer out, and then you taught me how to bow hunt. Do you remember that? I'm blonde.
Well, I tell you this, my wife, she had never shot a bow or never hunted, never understood the truisms of scientific conservation that hunting, fishing, and trapping personifies. And you have to admit, when you grab that bow, that when I shot my bow this morning, Shemina and I shot our bows this morning. We do it every day. It's kind of like a soul-cleansing mantra. And as you come to full draw with a bow and arrow, there's no Joe Biden. I mean, who doesn't want to pursue that sanctity? So, yeah, the mystical flight of the arrow is a guiding light. It's the origins of Zen. It's the origins of the martial arts. And I've been doing it since I could walk. Born in Detroit in 1948. My dad was already a follower of Red Bear. And we bow hunt every year. It's a big part of the American family conservation lifestyle. It's very, very important.
Well, thanks for teaching me how to do it.
Well, and Amy would like if on May 18th in Aurora, Amy would like for you to teach her how to field dress a deer too.
Well, I'll bring a fresh
level.
roadkill and we'll turn it into family-sized portions. How about that?
Perfect.
I love
That'd be
venison.
perfect.
Great this
Yes.
time of year.
So just on the music scene, since we have you for a minute, who are some of the artists that you like today? I mean, I know there's a lot of legends like yourself that are still playing and touring into their 70s and even 80s. But what about anybody that is younger and up and coming that you like?
Well, I'm still playing like an animal. I got a band here in Texas. We're doing Ted Nugent speakeasies on the weekends. I'm actually playing a feed mill this Saturday. It's going to be awesome. It'd be like the Amboy Dukes, 1964. It's just as raw and primal and more fun than ever because of the caliber of musicians that seem to be everywhere and always at my side. But think of the name Jared James Nichols. He's a young guitar player. A guy named Wes Jeans. We just did a jam session up in Oklahoma. And I got to tell you, as we were spurred on and so inspired by the Chuck Berrys and Bo Diddleys and Little Richards and the original Firebreeders, that raw, exciting, primal scream of the original rhythm and blues and rock and roll, it is so alive and well. It is so much fun. More, dare I say, more now than ever, because it's just a couple of buddies and I. We pull in, we throw our amps up, like playing at the Cellar in Arlington Heights, and we just plug in and start playing James Brown and Chuck Berry music and all the Ted Nugent classics. So I'm lucky that I think being clean and sober for 75 years still keeps things real and raw and honest. And the musicians I'm surrounded by is a real, real blessing.
Now, I know that Patriots Fest is not political, but Ted Nugent, the American Citizen, is Ted Nugent, the American Citizen, going to be doing much on the campaign trail in the coming months leading into November?
Well, let's clarify one thing. What isn't political? Our rights, our freedoms are based on meeting the king's thugs at Concord Bridge and shooting them in the face and writing down things that the king wouldn't allow us to do because we knew that they were sacred rights individually to each of us from God. So every day you have happiness, it's a result of people participating in the sacred experiment in self-government and demanding constitutional accountability from our elected employees. What isn't political? Everything is political. So people say, hey, I'm not into politics. Well, then you invited this snake into the White House. Thanks for nothing. This is an experiment in self-government, and we're all supposed to be participating. And that's why people call me a radical, and I accept the title very proudly.
Now, are you friends with President Trump?
Yeah, I worked with the great president. I mean, what a great man. Boy, just the persecution he's victimized by this anti-justice, by the bureaucrat punks in Uncle Sam's gang. It's just a treacherous, treacherous time He is a great man. During his 4 years, we had the greatest quality of life. Anybody want to debate me, call 1-800-NUMBNUT, and I'll have Michael Moore explain why personal hygiene is superfluous. I mean,
he does smile.
Donald Trump is a great leader. I'm in touch with his team all the time. I've done the national anthem at dozens of his rallies, and I will continue to do so, because if we don't get Trump elected, we will continue going down the toilet to become a suburb of Cuba, thanks to Joe Biden and his corrupt criminal gangbangers that get control of America right now.
All right, wait. I just want to make sure I would get that number right, because I want to pass it around Chicago. It's 1-800-NUMBNUT. Is that the number to call?
1-800-NUMBNUT, and you can only speak in Spanish, by the way.
All right, Patriots Fest, May 18th in Aurora at the Piazza. PatriotsFest.com for tickets. PatriotsFest.com for tickets. 100% of the proceeds go to serve our military veterans through organizations, through these nonprofits that have been selected. And the Motor City Madman is a headliner, Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks, guys. Live it up. Happy springtime, and thank everybody for all this support. Go to tednugent.com and see how we can help these heroes every day.
Oh, you're the best. I love your spirit, love your energy, and love what you're doing. Thank you so much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell. Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land. Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. And this year, AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responders and military heroes, including homeless veterans, and to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Wednesday, June 19th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing package, which includes 25 one-minute commercials between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. and a free digital marketing analysis. And we also have twosomes available in addition to foursomes. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Control Point Engineering, Waukegan Roofing, and by Crosscom Public Adjusters.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Once again, Pure Talk, my sponsor and my wireless company, they're investing in their customers out of their own pocket without charging an extra penny. And I'm really happy to announce that Pure Talk is now providing international roaming to over 50 countries. That's right. As you plan your summer travel, make sure that your wireless provider has you covered at home and abroad. Pure Talk already puts you on America's most dependable 5G network, and now they're giving you coverage in over 50 countries as well. You get unlimited talk and text and plenty of 5G data for just $20 a month. That's less than half the price of the big carriers, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, for the exact same service. Now bring your phone or get great savings on the latest iPhones and Androids. Dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch simple and easy. Again, pound 250, keyword save now. Do it now. You save an additional 50% off your first month. Make the switch to Pure Talk so you can afford to travel this summer.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
The Fiber and Spice is a very effective product. There's no question. A product that is very reliable. It's a very good product.
I swear by these. Probably the best products that I've ever used. I think they're just simply good for your body.
When I used to work, I used to do my art over the weekend all the time. And now I do yard work. I have been doing yard work. I can sweep my floor and make my place look nice. And I take Balance of Nature, and yeah, it feels really good.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Admit it, this is the worst time of year to be suffering with joint pain. You can't enjoy outdoors like you used to. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and if you're tired of achy joints, contact my friends at QC Kinetics before you agree to surgery, steroids, or medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, like Robert. Robert's a retired Marine and business owner. Robert had debilitating shoulder pain and couldn't take time away from work to have surgery. So he heard about QC Kinetics and how elite athletes were using these treatments for joint pain. Now Robert feels much better thanks to his treatments at QC Kinetics. And you know what? I'd love to talk about your success story next. So don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today. The consultation's free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. Again, 312-809-5955.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because this is amazing news. Imagine the student in your family not asking you for money to pay for college, or better yet, not getting into years and years of debt. How's this possible? Scholarships.com, a trusted and widely used scholarship platform that helps your student find scholarships and navigate the financial aid process. Get help to pay for college through a personalized list of scholarships that your student actually qualifies for. Better yet, every scholarship is vetted to ensure accuracy. And now the best part, drum roll please, it's absolutely free. Go to scholarships.com today. Both students and parents can join for free. And within minutes, receive your list of personalized scholarship matches. Check out the wealth of information and resources available at no cost. And read the fantastic reviews from other scholarship winners. Scholarships.com has helped over 23 million students and families find scholarships to help pay for college. And will help you too. Join scholarships.com today for free. That's scholarships.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
That's Ted Nugent is Maniac.
Awesome.
I love him.
You
Man.
two would get along. Fantastic.
Oh my gosh, he's freaking dynamo. 75. How sharp he is. Wow. Impressive.
He doesn't know who I am. So okay, great. I'm 0 for 2.
I didn't want to have to break it to you, but yeah, that was pretty clear.
The nice spin, though, huh? Talking
Yeah.
about bow hunting right away.
Yeah,
Oh, that
yeah.
bow
Oh,
hunting
yeah, I
brought me and my wife together.
He remembered the anchor. He remembered that Bob Bond or whatever the hell his name was.
His name's Bill Bonds. Bob
Whatever.
Bond. Oh, my gosh. You're
I don't know.
so not Detroit. Okay. Thanks so much to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, our executive producer. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. It is now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
They finally did their job. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's Republican Congressman James Comer.